Right, so the world of wrestling shoot interviews truly is the Wild West. Especially in the 2000s, wrestling shoot interviews were anything goes, and wrestlers would go on these platforms and just absolutely trash their co-workers and their peers and cause so much controversy. Personally, I love listening to old wrestling shoot interviews because they can get very heated, very personal, very dramatic, and very controversial, or all of the above. So today in this video, as the finale of talking about wrestling shoot interviews on this channel, because I truly have discussed all there is to discuss, here is a big movie of just the most intense and heated and dramatic and even disturbing wrestling shoot interviews that maybe went horribly wrong. So like this video, let me know down below in the comments what your favorite wrestling shoot interview is, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this. So as well as being a fan of wrestling shoot interviews, I also enjoyed going back and watching old episodes of The Howard Stern Show and the many fights and big arguments that took place on that show if you aren't familiar with it. Many wrestlers have been on The Howard Stern Show, and there's been many revealing and personal interviews on The Howard Stern Show. I remember Goldust going on there in full makeup and character doing his Tourette's gimmick. It's a crazy, amazing watch. He talks about the plane ride from hell and his ex-wife. That's definitely a future one to talk about in one of these videos. So leave a like if you want to see more wrestling shoot interview content, because I could definitely discuss this one as well. But the Howard Stern interview we are discussing today, or should I say Howard Stern interviews, is the saga that took place with Chris Kanyon, Ric Flair, and John Cena on the show in 2006. So it all started when Chris Kanyon went on the show in October of 2006, and he spoke about his firing from the WWE, and he claims that he believes he was fired from the WWE due to opening up about his sexuality and due to the fact that he was a gay wrestler. And apparently this interview actually upset many people within the WWE, according to Howard Stern himself, and a few days later they would have John Cena on the show to ask him about it, and John Cena was more or less waving the WWE flag and says that he wasn't any good, and that's the real reason why Chris Kanyon got cut, because he wasn't able to entertain the fans or wrestle as good as he could have, and also refutes his claim about his firing because he says he came out publicly after he was released from WWE. But if you know anything about Chris Kanyon, yes, he was publicly out after his release from WWE, but it was always an open secret backstage everywhere he worked. And Chris Kanyon went on the Howard Stern show a few days later once again, as this time Howard Stern had Ric Flair waiting on the phone for him, as Ric Flair was there to represent WWE and defend Chris Kanyon's claims that he made against WWE, and it led to a very interesting discussion because these two have known each other for so long, but Ric Flair disagrees with what Chris Kanyon is saying, and Chris Kanyon obviously isn't gonna agree with Flair, but at the same time has a lot of respect for Flair and thinks he's the greatest wrestler of all time, so it leads to quite a strange and uncomfortable conversation in hindsight.
All right, before we get to the party, Chris, you know, the guys from the WWE were in an uproar after your last appearance here. Did you know that?
No.
Ric Flair is on the phone. He wants to debate you.
Ric Flair is on the phone?
He says that he has a statement to make on behalf of the WWE. You accused the WWE and Vince McMahon of firing you because you were gay. Rick disagrees with that.
Okay.
You want to speak to him?
Sure.
All right, go ahead. Rick, hi. Rick, you there?
I'm right here, man.
How you doing, man?
That's Rick.
Great, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, that is Ric Flair. He's a famous wrestler, and you work for the WWE, of course, and you're even in management. And what do you disagree with about what Chris Kanyon has said?
Well, first of all, I don't work in management. I just disagree with the fact that, and I'm disappointed because I know Chris very well, that he would blame something that's happened in his personal life on his job description. And I think it's real simple. Every wrestler in the country knows that you've got to be very good at what you do to be part of the WWE. It's a very difficult business to be successful in. And I think Chris has some shortcomings in the ring. And I'm disappointed in Chris as a person. I've known him a long time, that he would blame his shortcomings on something that's going on in his personal life.
Well, we had in the wrestler, who's the guy who just made the movie?
John Cena.
We just had John Cena, and he said that Chris was a good guy. He said, but he didn't have the skills to really be a WWE wrestler.
Well, he said he didn't have a great act. You know, he didn't act the part well.
Yeah, Chris has got the skill, but it takes a lot more than technical skills to be good in the WWE or in the sport of professional wrestling. And Chris, I think, has got all the attributes. He doesn't have the act. John made a good point.
What about that, Chris? You were in the WWE, and your act was, you say, good until you became an out gay person.
My act was absolutely fine. You know, it all depends on what they give you, what storylines they write you. I think a lot of the writers knew. Rick, you know Arn Anderson knew for a fact I was gay back in WCW. I mean, he's your best friend.
I had no idea.
All right. It was not a well-kept secret in wrestling, and it figured into the storylines they gave me. Rick, you know as well as I do, if they don't give you a storyline, if they beat you every week, you're not going to be over.
Chris, we're talking about your sexuality right now. We're not talking about.
No, that ain't what you were talking about. You were talking about I didn't have what it took to be a WWE, even though
you as a person, as a man, for blaming your choices in life on the business.
It's not a choice, first of all.
You have the skills, and you had the ability, and you had the opportunity. They didn't work out for you. That's got nothing to do with what you got going on in your personal life.
Totally disagree, Rick.
You'd be the only one, and you're lucky to be on the show and being able to air it.
But Rick, Chris was in the WWE for years, and there wasn't an issue.
He was in the WWE, but he was never featured. He was never a featured player.
Rick, how did I make it for 9 years on national TV in WCW, pretty much a promotion you made and carried by yourself? How was I able to make it there for 6 years if I didn't have the act?
I said you had. No, I said you had.
No, but how do you make it for 9 years on national TV from '95 to 2003? I was on national TV. If I didn't have the charisma, if I didn't have the act, how did I make it for 9 years? Explain that, Rick.
Well, I'm not saying you didn't make it. I'm just saying that I don't think anything that's happened to you right now, in the WWE, has anything to do with the fact that you've come out of the closet or whatever you've done. Because I had no idea. And nor did I care.
Rick, you've been in the business a long time. You know there's no kept secrets in wrestling. You know
it was me, and I've know just about everything there is about professional wrestling. I'd never known that.
Well, we got to take everything Rick says with a grain of salt. He still works for Vince McMahon. He's gonna, just like John Cena, he's gonna say what he thinks Vince wants to hear.
I got a question for Rick. Rick,
I don't think that's quite true, Chris. Go ahead.
Rick, why did they let Chris go then? Why did he get rid of him?
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that.
So if you don't know the answer, then it could have been because I was gay and Vince doesn't like gay people.
No.
Oh, it couldn't have been that.
Definitely not that.
Could have been that.
But how do you know that, Rick? How do you know that wasn't it?
Because I know that there are gay people involved in the business right now that are successful.
But are they out?
No.
I don't know if they are or not.
No, they're not.
I see. Well,
I
listen.
thought there were no secrets in wrestling.
No, inside wrestling, he's saying. Outside of it, there are plenty of secrets.
Rick, we know a lot of guys inside the business that are gay, but they don't want to go national and be nationally out. I did, and I was punished for wanting to do it.
Well, I disagree. You got your opinion, I have mine, but it's hard to explain the business. I'm one of these very few, very fortunate guys that's been able to make the transition from year to year. I don't know how. It's been a gift that God gave me, but I know that I got to show up every Monday and I got to have my act together and I got to have my gig together and I got to be ready to go. And I think Chris, and I've said it before, all the talent in the world. But Chris, you didn't have anything to give to the show right now, and that's just the bottom line.
All right, so
So you think he could work for the WWE again?
No, I don't think he could.
Why not?
I think the opportunity for Chris Kanyon has come and gone.
So what opportunity was I given that I dropped the ball with, Rick?
I don't know, because I didn't know
None.
your act.
That's why for 9 years I was very successful. The only time I got fired is when I started talking openly.
We can go back and talk about who was good at everything 9 years ago. You're not good at it now.
Oh, now you're saying I don't have the skill now. You just said I have all the talent in the world.
You're saying
I am saying this is Ric Flair telling you have not got the skills or the ability.
That's very different than what you said in the beginning of this interview. That's very different than what you said in the beginning of the interview.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I said
you said I have all the skill in the world. I just didn't have the act. Now all of a sudden you say I'm not good enough. You know the act is given to you.
John Cena said, yeah, you are not good enough right now to be on the show.
Okay.
All right, well, there it is.
Rick,
that's the bottom line.
Rick, why are you doing this and not Vince McMahon?
Why am I doing what?
Why are you the one on the phone and not Vince?
I don't know.
I can answer that.
I guess they wanted someone that has a lot of respect.
I can. They're all in Japan.
They know how much respect you have for me, Chris.
Dude, I have ultimate respect for you. You are truly the best in the business.
If I can be man enough to tell you, Chris, God bless you. You had it at one time. You've got a lot of ability. I'm not saying you still can't go through the motions. You don't have something that the show needs right now. And it's a hard, cool business. We let guys go every day that are nice people. It's not about being nice. It's about being good.
And I definitely am good enough. And Rick, you haven't seen me in 4 years. How do you know if I'm good or not?
I know that if you had something to offer the show, you'd be on it.
Really?
Bottom line.
That's why Kurt Angle's still wrestling for WWE.
What's Kurt Angle got to do with it?
Because he has a lot to offer, and he still got fired.
Well, no.
So don't tell me if you have enough to offer, you're still going to be there.
Kurt Angle left of his own volition.
Well,
And I know that for a fact.
And you want to talk about John Cena? This is today's Daily News. In a review of the Marine, Cena is nothing special. I mean, this ain't just me talking. Cena doesn't have much to offer either. Cena's pretty charismatic, but when it comes to in-ring work, Rick, you know as well as I do, in-ring work, Cena doesn't measure up.
I think they chose me is because they know the relationship. They know that I respect you as a person because you've always given me the courtesy and respect that I feel like I've been afforded.
Well, there it is. You guys have had your words with each other. I'm glad.
I just want to get this straight. Rick was picked by the WWE to talk to us?
Yes.
No, he wasn't
Oh,
sick.
okay.
I've always wanted to get
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on, Rick.
I'm mad at Howard Stern for not having me on a show for my book tour.
Rick, we gotta be straight. Hold on a second. WWE called me. I called when Chris was here. I called Vince. Vince wasn't available. He's in Japan. They offered me Triple H. Turned out that today Triple H is in Japan on this tour. So then WWE called me back and said, "How about Ric Flair?" And I asked them, can Rick speak to this? And they said he could. So in a way, they did pick you to speak for them.
Well, that might be, but I've always wanted to be on Howard's show. He's never had me on.
I'm glad to have Rick on, and I think Rick has made his point.
Well, but Rick says he doesn't even know why Chris was fired.
It would seem to me that this would be a better conversation between Vince McMahon.
I think so, too. Anytime Vince wants to talk. Rick, and I have ultimate respect for you. I was there the final night of Nitro, and we hung, and we both cried. Rick, I have total respect for you. I agree. That you're entitled to your opinion, and that's cool.
Are you attracted to Ric Flair at all?
No, Rick's not really my type.
Rick, you cried?
Howard.
Rick,
Got something to tell us or what?
Did you cry? Is that true?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Why the Hulkster, not the Nate?
Ooh. He wants to know why you had Hulk on here, not Nature Boy Ric Flair.
On the show all the time.
I don't. You want to know something, Rick? And I'll be honest with you. What I know about wrestling would fit into a thimble. My grandfather was a huge wrestling fan. Used to take me to all the wrestling matches and stuff, and that was my exposure to it. But I would. You know what it is? I knew of Hulk Hogan, so I had Hulk on.
Yeah.
Rick,
And I don't know that many.
Me.
So we'll have you on.
Rick,
Now you know of me.
Well, we'll have you on.
Please.
Rick, you said I'm not that good. Didn't you ask me to train your son, David? Now be honest, Rick.
I never asked you to
That's
train.
such a lie, dude.
I asked you to work out with them. It's two different things, Chris. We're not saying you don't have the technical skills.
You just did say I can't measure up. I can't do it in the ring.
WWE does not let talent, T-A-L-E-N-T, go because of their sexuality. If you have something that can
I guess you know Vince's mind.
Company, you're going to work for him.
I guess you could read Vince's mind.
Oh, I'm just telling you the truth.
No, you're telling me your opinion. And I totally appreciate your opinion.
Have something to offer
Literally,
something
you're
that
my
will
favorite
generate
wrestler in the
income,
world.
You're gonna work
Rick,
for him.
you're saying if you came out tomorrow out of the closet and you were openly gay, that Vince would keep you on?
Of course he would.
All right. Well, that's the
I'd have
answer
a
then.
brand
For
new
him.
gig
Definitely, that's his opinion. And
Right.
Rick is the greatest wrestler of all time.
He is.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
All right, there you go. That's very nice of you to say, even though
it's
you're
true.
being sort of criticized here.
I want to commend these guys on the most civilized wrestling argument of all time.
Thank you.
Nothing like the show.
Hey, you guys are all gentlemen. I'll tell you that.
Rick's a true gentleman.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
I believe.
And you're a great guy, and you shouldn't use the Howard Stern show to vent and bring your personal life forward.
Unlike you, Rick, they called me.
I believe Rick, because don't you think wrestling's kind of gay anyway?
I don't know. I don't know anything
Guys
about
in their underwear rolling around.
I don't know. Thank you, Ralph.
If anybody knows gay, it's Ralphie.
All right. Hey, Rick, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it, and we hope to have you on the show soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right. There he is. There's Ric Flair, who made a
The
statement.
Nature Boy.
And
yeah, for Howard Stern show standards, that's a pretty civilized and normal conversation, but obviously in hindsight with everything that happens with Chris Kanyon afterwards in his life and his suicide that takes place years later, I find this to be quite an eerie and kind of weird conversation to look back on. And it's kind of sad to see how a lot of people didn't really have Chris Kanyon's back when he was out of the WWE. It for sure remains as one of the most interesting sagas in Howard Stern show history, especially amongst all the wrestler appearances on Howard Stern show. And if you guys want to see me talk about more wrestlers going on Howard Stern show, then let me know. I'd love to do that more. Awesome Kong's You Shoot interview is one of my favourite shoot interviews of all time, purely for the fact that she really holds no punches back. It's funny because she's so respectable and so loving towards the people that she likes, but anyone that she doesn't like, she keeps it no secret and just absolutely goes in on everyone. The most infamous segments from this interview are the hoe bag and the what a dick segments, where she just kind of reveals every wrestler that she doesn't like.
Bully.
He could be a dick. Brian Knobs.
Ah, what a dick.
Got a picture I'm going to show you later. Madison Rain.
Whole bag.
Really? Right in, huh? Right in. Whole bag. You didn't even hesitate a second, I just want to tell you. Rebby Sky.
Whole bag. Bitch.
Rock
Funky bitch. And you owe my aunt some money. Pay my aunt her money for watching your damn kid, okay? Do that.
I'm guessing that Raka Khan goes in the whole
She
bag.
going to, yeah, she going
Dixie Carter.
to, you know.
So she goes in the bag.
She going to.
She also discusses the time she beat up Bubba the Love Sponge in TNA. If you don't know the story, Bubba the Love Sponge while in TNA had some not so nice things to say after the earthquakes in Haiti, calling them a cleansing. Awesome Kong, who was helping with relief for the people of Haiti, didn't take too kindly to this and infamously beat up Bubba backstage. Based Kong. She describes how the events went down here.
And now later on in the locker room, he's not with Hogan.
He's not with Hogan.
And you have a clear shot. Now, when you approach him, does he immediately know he's going to be hit? Or is he going to, hey, what's up?
Well, anybody running at you with their fist in the air and yelling and screaming like a maniac, if they don't know they're going to get hit, then they deserve to get hit anyway.
What are you saying as you're running?
Just screaming like a effing maniac. Just, wow.
What does he do? Does he jump behind something? Okay, here I am.
Well,
You're coming at me?
he deflected the, you know, like I said, you know when you're about to get hit. So he deflected the first punch.
Which was a right or a left?
It was a right.
Okay, so I deflected it like that.
Okay.
Right.
And then I come in, and come in right here.
Right.
And then he cowers down.
Like
Cower
this.
down like a
Cowering
bitch.
down like a bitch. Like a bitch.
Like a bitch.
Like this.
Okay,
Oh, all the way down.
Then I start playing knick-knack, paddywhack.
So he went down into the...
There isn't really any specific Jim Cornette interview that I would recommend for you to go and check out, because literally any of Jim Cornette's interviews are good shouts. He has an opinion on every aspect of wrestling, and any aspect of wrestling that you want to know his opinion on is just so accessible. It's out there on a DVD or on an interview somewhere. You can find his opinion on anything in wrestling, but some of Cornette's most infamous shoots are when he is ranting about hardcore wrestling. Jim Cornette is notorious for hating hardcore and deathmatch wrestling. Essentially, he believes that it isn't real wrestling and doesn't belong in the business. Jim Cornette has gone off multiple times on the various outlaw mud show wrestlers and promotions, and he does it many times nowadays. It's something you probably know him for, but he was doing that as far back as 20 years ago. This interview was from 2003. Jim Cornette has been a firm hater of hardcore wrestling for 20 years. You kinda gotta respect that dedication.
We're hardcore. We're fucking, yeah, we're better than everybody else. They're cutting themselves with broken glass. They're snapping mouse traps on each other. They're staple gunning their tongues to the fucking turnbuckles. So this paper does this story. Fans bring the weapons. They're hitting each other with VCRs. They're really hitting each other. Guess what, folks? Doesn't take any talent to do that. I can hit a motherfucker as hard in the head with a baseball bat as almost anybody else. That don't mean I'm Ric Flair. They do a story. In front of 75 people in a warehouse, these fucking guys are mutilating themselves, and Ian Rotten and his fucking shyster business partner are making any money there is to be made off of it because they ain't paying the guys none. We're doing business with one of the biggest radio stations in town. We're doing business with goddamn sponsors, businesses, legitimate people. I don't want them to pick up Leo. They don't know too much about wrestling. They say, and they go, fuck, Junior, you ain't going to see that shit. Combat Zone Wrestling, whoever the fuck they are. I think they're the same kind of thing as Ian, only maybe with a little bit bigger budget, and fuck them too. While I'm talking about it, fuck you, Combat Zone Wrestling. You know, never been anybody, never gonna be anybody. I've sold more tickets in my sleep than you will in your lives. And I ain't even nobody.
You might have heard him in this interview discuss Ian Rotten as well, which brings us very nicely into our last entry on the list. This interview is 2 hours of Ian Rotten being absolutely laid into and ripped apart by people that he's wronged. It's one of the most satisfying listens ever. We start off with the interviewer, who, by the way, does not hold anything back whatsoever, just grilling Ian on his promoter troubles, such as not paying wrestlers, owing people money, And all his other escapades and filthiness are brought in this opening statement in the interview, such as his alleged abuse of Mickey Knuckles. The host also reveals some off-the-record information about how Ian Rotten will be main eventing a Juggalo Championship Wrestling show, which Ian gets really heated over him revealing because it was off the record and he asked him not to do it.
Thanks for having me.
Ian, we need to talk a little bit about a few things here. Your reputation in the business is not what one would consider a stellar reputation. You have a history of owing people money. By your own admission, you owe over 10 people over $3,000. You have done benefit shows in the past, one for one of your referees, Harry Palmer, who needed a headstone for his young son that passed away, and the stories that came out of that show was that it was a full house, you were doing great on concessions, and the amount that you gave Harry Palmer was in $500 or less. There are allegations that you had a physical altercation with Mickey Knuckles and did some bodily injury to her. And you also said that you are scheduled to be in the main event this weekend for JCW, which is the Insane Clown Posse, and their Juggalo Championship Wrestling. And I have in front of me the lineup for that show that lists the main event as Corporal Robinson against Richie Boy Briar Wellington. So who are we to believe when it comes...
First of all, dude, you just broke a cardinal rule of anything of reporting and lost all credibility with me whatsoever. I told you that off the record. It's a surprise thing, and you just blew it.
It's not a surprise thing, Ian, if it's on the internet and it's part of what the ICP is putting out. And, there are no surprises when it comes to ICP. And my credibility is far more valid than yours at this point.
The host then also questions Ian over the allegations of paying J.C. Bailey in drugs, and basically gets an admission that he did.
Let's talk about one of the things that is dogging you the most, okay? And that is the thing with J.C. Bailey and the funeral, and J.C. Bailey in general, all right? Now, J.C. Bailey, for those that do not know, is the son of Joe Bailey, one of the most well-known people down around in the Mid-South area. His son got into the business. You took him under your wing. And there was a night that J.C. worked for you 5 times. Was it a King of the Deathmatch event? Am I correct in saying that?
He worked 4 times in 2 days.
Okay. All right, 4 times in 2 days. And the report that I got, that he got $60 from you and a handful of pills. Now, you said earlier, and I'm going to quote you, you paid JC $110 for working those 4 or 5 times, whichever the case may be, and then JC came and bought pills from you. Is that a correct statement?
Well, actually, you also have to add in the fact that he was also paid $75 on night 1.
Okay. Now, at the shows where you paid him $100 and whatever dollars, and you said he came and bought pills from you after the show, is that a fair statement? You sold JC pills at your show.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes you a drug dealer. You sold drugs to an addict.
We mentioned Mickey Knuckles before about the allegations of him injuring her, and Mickey Knuckles then calls in to go and grill Ian over those allegations, and yeah, she does not hold back any punches whatsoever.
Hi Ian, how are you?
Nice. I'm fantastic.
Even know who the fuck this is?
Yeah, it's Mickey.
Yeah, so why do you want to tell people some bullshit lies that you didn't beat the fuck out of me, and then you want to spread about 5 or 6 rumors that I got to hear about when I go to Illinois, and when I go to fucking Chicago, when I go to fucking St. Louis, and they tell me all these 5 or 6 rumors. Fucking Corporal even told me a rumor that Daddy called him on. And you're going to tell all these fucking rumors to lie, but you're not even going to tell him that fact you beat the fuck out of me?
Nikki, I didn't beat you up, and you know that.
You didn't. That's why your wife tried to call the cops twice in the same fucking night.
Never had an affair.
Okay, Ian, you know what? Because I've been nice. I have turned down shoot interview after fucking shoot interview because I didn't want to do this to fucking couple. But when Jerry told me you were having him on your show, and he fucking told me what you said about me, that just pissed me off no fucking end. I have been fucking nothing but nice and pretty. It's done. Everything now
Nikki,
will come out of
you up, and you know that. You know I didn't beat you up.
Yeah, bent me backwards in the fucking kitchen over the countertop and tried to stick a fucking screwdriver in my fucking eyeball. You tried to fucking kill me, Ian.
IWA wrestler Bull Payne just calls in, and I'm just going to let you listen to this because he just, oh my god, listen to this.
Again, you run your mouth about shit you don't even know about. You weren't around. All you're doing is listening to someone else who has a beef because you have a beef with me.
You're a waste of human life.
You have no knowledge. You have no knowledge whatsoever.
You're a answer to the wrestling business, and if I didn't lose my job, I would beat the fuck out of you every time I see you. You are the most disgusting piece of crap that I have ever fucking laid my eyes on, and you are a cancer to the wrestling business.
And finally, Joseph Bailey, the father of JC Bailey, calls in and again just rips Ian a new one. He says Ian and IWA Mid-South played a part in his son's death, and he talks about other people Ian has wronged, as well as mentioning the fact that Ian asked for gas money from him at JC's funeral. Have a listen to this.
Let me count the people in the time that I've been with you that I know you shit on or you screwed. Let's go back to King of Death matches over in Indiana when that little dumb kid by the name of Ray went and took a second mortgage for over $20,000 on his home. Remember him?
I sure do.
Never got a dime back from you. Kid lost his home.
No, he didn't.
Kid lost his home. He didn't get nothing out of you. And now that I've heard, and I've got it on a DVD or a CD that this guy's going to run off, that you sold my kid drugs, give my hand to God. I told you I was going to be your nightmare. I'm going to town that you held that damn death tournament in. I'm going to turn it over to the prosecutor and see if your ass can be prosecuted for selling drugs to my son. You come to my son's funeral, my ex-wife didn't want your ass there. She threw a screaming hissy, threw a fit, showed her ass. But I made it possible just for you to visit my son because I thought you cared a little bit about him. And then when you go out to the parking lot, you sit out there and you cry. I didn't know about it 2 weeks later till you told me. My sister-in-law gave you gas money to leave the facility. She didn't tell you she was sorry that my ex or the JC's mother ripped your ass. That's a damn lie from hell. The shit you do helped kill my son. You didn't help kill him. He got in the ring and done the shit himself. But the shit that you do, and you're not going to bring nobody on family entertainment. That's never going to happen. And I promise you, I am going to be on you like the white and the black on a damn leopard. I'm going to stay on your ass. Believe it, trust that, believe it. Say what you want to, I'm going to get you. If I would have knew you had sold my son drugs or gave my drug son at the funeral home, you wouldn't have stayed. You are a damn liar. You told me that, I would have shot you at the damn. I would have shot your ass.
I would highly recommend checking out this interview. It's 2 hours of Ian Rotten just being absolutely destroyed, and it's without a doubt the most satisfying thing I've ever listened to. Jim Cornette's rants on extreme wrestling and deathmatch wrestling have been something that have particularly caught the ear of listeners. If you aren't aware, Jim Cornette despises deathmatch wrestling. He hates it as he considers it to not be real wrestling, and also due to his history with Ian Rotten, who got wrestling banned in many venues in Kentucky due to the stuff taking place on IWA Mid-South shows, much to the dismay of Jim Cornette. In this interview here, he lets his feelings be known on hardcore wrestling and individuals involved in hardcore wrestling.
This hardcore bullshit where suddenly, I like the business, as Dutch Mantell always says in his greatest line, I like the business a lot better when the marks were out front in the seats. All of a sudden, guys are beating the fuck out of each other for real in front of a bunch of people who know that everything they're doing is choreographed, and they're cheering it because they're really hurting each other. What kind of fucking psychology is that? And they're doing it for practically no money, and they're also doing it just for the sake of being on television so the people chant ECW. Why do the wrestlers in the ring want the people to chant the name of the promotion? It used to be, go Ricky, go, go. Now it's ECW. Oh, great. I just fractured my fucking sacroiliac, broke my fucking leg, and shoved a fucking wooden spike up my taint. And they're not chanting Jim, Jim, Jim. They're chanting ECW. Great.
He also discusses the 2008 film The Wrestler starring Mickey Rourke, in which he gives a fairly unpopular opinion and gives reasons as to why he doesn't like the film, which really surprised me as this film is very critically acclaimed and I've only ever seen it praised by people in and out of the wrestling business.
You know, The Wrestler, right? I saw a bootleg DVD because I couldn't go to the movies in Louisville because many people know who I am there. I've been on TV there for 25 fucking years. And I was embarrassed because now people look at you like, oh, you're in that wrestling bit. Take staple guns and staple dollar bills to each other's heads and cut each other with razor blades? What kind of fucking morons might they be? I would rather move next door to somebody on the federal sex offender registry, than move next door to somebody in the wrestling business after seeing The Wrestler. Broken down, drug addict, has no family, and fucking slices and dices himself to pieces on fucking weekends for chicken feed.
On the 18th of July 2005, The Ultimate Warrior's first ever shoot interview was released. This was a huge event. Warrior had a very turbulent career in wrestling, as well as a very turbulent relationship with the WWE. This was the same year that WWE released their Self-Destruction of Ultimate Warrior DVD. He'd been involved in lawsuits with WWE over his name and likeness for years, and also ran a blog where he would often just trash the WWE and people like Lex Luger, Hulk Hogan, and Vince McMahon. And in this 2005 interview, he took the opportunity to make sure he ripped into everyone.
Do. A lot of the guys down there, Chris Adams, of course there were a lot of assholes too. Matt Bourne was down there, the guy that went on to become a dork. He was a real dickhead. Buzz Sawyer, you know, was a real nutcase. I mean, those guys were really malicious. They really tried to hurt you. Bruiser Brody, I mean, a lot of guys that aren't around anymore. I mean, I haven't written my book yet. A lot of the stories about them. Hogan's whole life has been a work. And there's nothing about his life that's ever been unplanned. So he probably had it planned out from the beginning.
What's your take on Jake Roberts? Because he's a character in the business and a person in the business that everybody seems to have a million stories about. So what do you?
Well, I think Jake has probably revealed more stories and more of the substance about himself than anybody else could add to it. I mean, he's a liar, he's a lech, he's a loser, and there's not much more to say.
Warrior's most known public feud was with Hulk Hogan, who Warrior would talk shit about for years. In 2011, he filmed and uploaded a 52-minute video of him all just talking about Hulk Hogan and his disdain for him.
You know, Terry, the biggest mistake that you've made all these years that you've worked to mischaracterize me and paint this picture of me being a horrible human being, the biggest mistake that you made was that you worked yourself into believing that I was not even there at that time and place where our lives crossed paths. I mean, when you talk about Warrior, Ultimate Warrior, you talk about me like my presence and participation never even existed. It's incredible how you and others do. It's like you think if you don't mention it or you belittle it in a really violent way that history will be changed, that the memory of it will just disappear forever. And that's just ridiculous. In your mind, there was only room for Terry Bollea and nobody else. You know that I know what kind of malicious and backstabbing operator you are. And you know that when I have something to say about you, it is not a guess. Others know it too. They know that I don't bullshit. They know that I never have. On the other hand, you have a long-running reputation for being a liar and a fraud and a phony.
At Starrcade 99 for WCW, Bret Hart defended his WCW World Heavyweight Championship against Goldberg, and during the match, Hart was struck with a thrust kick to the head, resulting in a severe concussion. This is what ultimately would cause Bret Hart to retire from wrestling and end his wrestling career. And this happened 24 years ago, but I'll tell you right now that Bret Hart has not forgiven Goldberg. It's pretty well known that he has not forgiven Goldberg because he sneaks in disses to Goldberg in pretty much every statement he ever makes publicly. Bret Hart despises Goldberg for ending his career.
Do you ever think about if you hadn't had to retire when you did, do you think you would have been the kind of guy that in your kind of late 40s you still have been going and you still been wrestling?
Hell yeah. I would have shit those guys in wrestled in Saudi Arabia and each guy got paid $3 million each. Bill Goldberg, who kicked me in the head, never even thought about it. 8 months later, went over to Saudi Arabia, got paid $3 million for a 5 minutes wrestling match, and put all that money in his pocket, but never once thought about costing me $16 million when he kicked me in the head. And so, you know, I regret that I got injured by a guy that couldn't wrestle and has no business of being in a Hall of Fame. You know, he should be in the Hall of Shame.
I'm just going to try to go out and do my job. I would have loved to have worked a little bit more with Bret Hart, and I would have loved more than anything to have not kicked Bret Hart in the head, you know, and what happened. There have been things said on the internet, either by Bret or other people, that I was malicious and he shouldn't have been in the ring with me. And hey, I'm really sorry, man. But if I really wanted to hurt the guy, he would never have gotten up. Okay, and I'm no joke. He would have gotten up. But accidents happen, and he was an idol of mine and still is.
So on my last video, I talked about Howard Stern and how he's had a history of wrestlers going on his show, with some of the most infamous appearances being ones from John Cena and Chris Kanyon when he had that call with Ric Flair. I went into more detail about those interviews, but one I briefly mentioned and didn't go into full detail on was his interview with Goldust, which I believe to be one of the best all-time Howard Stern wrestler interviews on the show. It's a great interview because Goldust is in full gear and full character, and he's doing his Tourette's gimmick at the time, so it makes for some pretty funny interactions with the rest of the cast.
I went to the doctors. You know, all they know is some kind of some neurological disorder. You know,
but
not Tourette's.
Who electrocuted you? How did this happen?
Well, Randy Orton and this big guy, new up and coming guy named Batista. God dang!
Hey, easy. Hey. Dan, you're on the air with Goldust.
Hey, Goldust. I heard that you're a big and that you troll the Castro district in San Francisco for young boys.
Oh, yeah,
oh boy.
Right?
Why don't you come down here and say that?
And that you got electrocuted up your butt.
Grand Canyon. Hoot.
But while Goldust is in character, once Howard Stern starts bringing up some more real stuff like the plane ride from hell, alluding to that, and his ex-wife, then Goldust does start to speak a little bit more candidly, and you can tell he's kind of getting his real thoughts off, as he also seems pretty stun-locked and doesn't really know how to respond when Howard Stern brings up his participation in the plane ride from hell, like when he serenaded Terry Runnels, his ex-wife, allegedly. That's one of the famous stories from the plane ride of hell that Howard mentions to Goldust.
Not in here.
Oh, okay.
Goldust, what about your personal life? You say you're divorced.
Yeah.
Did it happen as a result of you getting Tourette's?
No.
It didn't?
No.
This was
not
before.
Tourette's. It's not Tourette's.
All right.
Well, who is saying it's Tourette's? We got
I'm
this
saying
somewhere.
Y'all are saying it's Tourette's.
The WWE doesn't say it?
No.
What do you want to say?
Can I ask Goldust about a story I heard about him?
Go ahead.
So I guess...
Was it about the Grand Canyon?
No. Goldust was married.
Yeah.
And then they got divorced.
Right.
They got divorced. And I guess WWE was on a plane. The whole gang was on a plane. And his ex-wife was on the plane because I guess she's part of the gang. And
you were married to a wrestler?
No.
Oh.
But she was on the plane, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess they served some alcohol on the plane, and Goldust had a couple drinks, and then he got a hold of the loudspeaker for the plane and started singing love songs. And then she got
No, it
upset.
wasn't exactly like that.
And then she got upset, and then they had to stop serving alcohol, and now they don't serve alcohol on those flights.
Because of you, they can't serve alcohol.
No, it's not my fault.
No, booze.
There's a lot more that went on that plane than that.
Goldust, it sounds like a painful topic for you. You still in love?
Ex-wife?
Yeah, you still in love with her?
No, I hate her guts.
You do?
Yeah.
You have to pay her a lot of money?
Yeah.
That's what drives you crazy, right? I mean, you have to take chairs to the head.
He's electrocuted.
You get electrocuted, and you have to give up all your money.
Well,
that
not
drives
all
you
of
crazy.
but yeah, it does.
Grand Canyon, Grand Canyon.
Well, I could see that this is a tough topic for you. I'm not talking about Tourette's. I'm talking about
Your home life.
your home life. So she wasn't a wrestler, but how long were you married?
I was married 8 years, actually.
Are you out banging every chick now you can get your hands
No,
on?
I'm married. I'm married.
Again?
Remarried.
Again?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Why not just play the
Because I
field?
found a wonderful woman, you know.
And what about this incident on the plane? Was that what happened? In order to woo her back, you started singing love songs?
No, I wasn't trying to woo her on the plane.
In order to woo her
Just
back.
having a good time, you know, and
Right. What's wrong with singing love songs on a plane?
Well, if you're
Nothing.
him. Love, look at the two of us.
The
And yeah,
other
the rest
thing I
of the
heard was
interview
that
spent
before
talking
this
to
accident,
callers and just kind of riffing
you
off
were
with
like,
the
I
cast
guess,
in
sort of
character.
gay.
It's a very good
Really?
watch.
And you used to have crushes
Yeah,
on
leave a
other
like if you
wrestlers.
want
Like you
to
had a
see
crush
me
on
do a
Razor
full
Ramon.
video
Wait a
talking
second.
about
Well, maybe
the
the
best and
electrocution
most
was a good
controversial
thing.
wrestler
Wait a second, Goldust.
appearances
I don't
on the
understand
Howard
this.
Stern Show.
I don't know
would love
much
to
about
do
wrestling
that.
history.
I alluded to it in my last episode of this, but I think it's only right I talk about it in this video because I didn't talk about it in the last one, and that, of course, is the very famous interview of Simon Gotch burying Enzo Amore, which, due to YouTube's broken algorithm, has become one of the most popular shoot interviews of all time because it has probably been recommended to you before, and it took me a while before I finally clicked on it and watched it, and I gotta say, it was definitely worth it. There's some really great stories in this interview from Simon Gotch about Enzo Amore, where he's just shitting on Enzo Amore. Enzo was obviously a very polarizing figure backstage in WWE. Many people say that his character on screen was the exact same as his real life personality and there was no distinction. One of the best stories Simon Gotch tells in this interview is about Enzo Amore breaking his leg from doing a very simple submission hold.
So there'd be things like that. There'd be things like he'd want to do shit in matches that were just completely stupid. At one point, I remember actually throwing up my hands and saying, I am a 30-year-old man. I've been doing this for 12 years. I'm too fucking old to be arguing with you about what we're going to do in a fake fight. We had one where it was even where I would try to work with him, where it'd be like, okay, we're going to do this spot, whatever. Low bridge me, I'll go out. And I was like, I'm going to try and land on the apron. If I do, come to me. I'm going to give you the hangman. If I miss the apron for any reason, just so you know, because I knew he wasn't very good. If I land on the floor, come after me, I'll grab your feet, trip you, and I'll just spin you around and start glomming you. Which is it going to be? Like, I don't know. I'm going to try and land on the apron. I'm telling you I might miss. There's a possibility of that. I've missed the apron before going out. I'm trying to warn you of this so you know if that happens what to do. Well, what you going to do? What you going to do? I'm like, I finally gave up. I was like, I'll go to the floor and I'll trip you, okay? Oh, okay. So shit like that where you're like, do you not know how to wrestle? He broke his own leg trying to counter a wrist lock.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, when he was in the wheelchair on NXT TV, that's how it happened. He broke his own leg trying to counter a wrist lock. He blamed it on the canvas being loose. Which, okay, let's say the canvas is loose. I've wrestled on loose canvases before. You know how many ankles are broken? 0. So there was that.
And my personal favourite bit and funniest part of this interview is Simon Gotch talking about how he questions Enzo Amore's so-called admiration for Dusty Rhodes, because there was apparently a time where Enzo Amore somehow thought that Kalisto, the former WWE luchador, was in the same era of wrestling as Dusty Rhodes and they faced each other.
But just to give you a level of his understanding of wrestling, you were interviewing Manny Fernandez earlier, correct?
Yes.
Okay. One of the guys who's an unsung hero of Pro Wrestling Iron is a guy named Frank Murdoch. He also worked under the name Frank Dalton. He used to do WCW B shows with Manny. Now, one day, we were sitting in the one of the conference rooms watching videotape, bullshitting with Bill. So it's like me, English, Sasha, Bailey, Enzo Cassidy. It's a bunch of, like, his class, basically, Bill's class. We're in there. And we're just telling different funny wrestling stories. And the story I had was that many years ago, when they were doing the WCW B shows, Manny and Frank had homesteaded this one random town. Manny had convinced this Mark car dealer to sell Frank a car. So he writes up a loan. He does all this shit under the name Frank Murdoch. The problem is Frank Murdoch doesn't exist. His name is Kelly New. But this guy's, he does it without ID. He does also because he's such a mark for Manny, and so he gives them a car. So one day, Manny disappears with the car, and Frank's like, well, my name ain't on it. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
So I tell this story. Enzo, who claims to be the hugest Dusty Rhodes fan in the world, Dusty's he's my mentor, all this stuff. Oh man, I can't believe Kalisto would do that. You could have heard a pin drop. Everyone just does the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez, Dusty's tag partner, the guy you supposedly is your mentor. Oh, because Kalisto's name is Manny Rodriguez. And Enzo's the type of guy that would try to play that off like it was a joke and he knew.
Right.
But he legitimately knew nothing about wrestling. He seems like that guy who started watching wrestling in like 1998 and has never seen anything other than Raw.
Yeah. Yeah, all-timer stuff. There's a reason this interview has been recommended so many times. It's a great interview, and I would highly recommend checking it out. And apparently, I didn't realize, but Enzo Amore has done a video back. Enzo Amore buries Simon Gotch. So maybe in the future, I'll have to check that out. Like the video if you want to see that as well. And the final shoot interview to talk about, or shoot interviews, are the many ramblings of the Honky Tonk Man, who at a certain point in his career probably became more famous for his shoot interviews than his WWE career, as Honky Tonk Man is a very infamous shoot interviewee and has done many interviews all over, just shitting on many wrestlers and aspects of the business. And one of the people he's spoken about many times before is Bret Hart, and I think that's because Bret Hart kind of fired some shots at him first in interviews before. But the way Honky Tonk Man talks about Bret Hart is just so delusional and so incorrect, and there's even a point in an interview where Honky Tonk Man mocks Bret Hart's stroke, and that's a very infamous shoot interview that got a lot of controversy. So here's a few clips of Honky Tonk Man talking about Bret Hart, including the time he mocked his stroke at the end.
It was one of those things where even Bret Hart wouldn't. He wouldn't. He was not going to do that job in Montreal.
Right.
I mean, it's just that simple.
And that's 20 years later.
He can say, "Well, I wasn't going to do it in Canada," but Bret, you're lying. You were not going to do that job. Period. Just like none of us would have. Nobody. Shawn Michaels wouldn't have done the job either. Nobody's going to. That's our mentality we had, and the kind of we didn't have those guaranteed contracts where go out and do this, you're going to get paid no matter what.
Sure. That's the thing is these young guys, they have no facial expressions. Everything looks like a flat line, like this.
And then they have no body movement.
Exactly.
Bret Hart got away with it because at least he had body movement. Bret didn't have any facial expression, but I mean, he was.
And then eventually it became his gimmick because he was like the stoic.
Right.
So, but
no, he was something, huh? Bret Hart did. Let me get to this. Let me get to Bret Hart real quick. This motherfucker does an interview. He does an interview and he tells people that I worked too soft. I wasn't stiff enough.
That's the art form.
I wasn't stiff enough. So I say this. Hey, Bret, if you had to work a program with somebody for the next 5 years, who would you want to work with? Me, who never hurt you, or Goldberg, who gave you one kick to the fucking head and gave you a seizure? Now, you tell me. Was it not a stroke? That's what it was. Totally put you out of business, Bret. Put you out of the business, but I work too soft for you.
So I'm gonna guess there's some animosity here.
Well, I mean, don't go tell somebody I work too soft, and the guy that worked too hard kicked you in the head and ended your damn career.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, if I say, listen, Raven, I like you. You never hurt me. We had great matches. But if the next guy that came along kicks me in the head and almost killed me, I wouldn't go, oh, you know, Raven and I had great matches, but they weren't as good as they could have been. Wow, this guy kicked you in the fucking head. You're out of the business. Who'd you rather be in a ring with, Raven or this guy? And I was always good friends with Bret. We had good matches together because I understood his style and I learned to adapt to what he did, which was the same thing every night. Kind of like Ric Flair, you know.
Woo! Yeah, I always thought that was ironic that Bret healed on Ric on Flair for doing the same thing every night, and then he did the same thing. I never got that.
What do you remember about Bret from those days? I mean, what was he like?
Like always, Bret's never changed. He's still the same. Most of us are still the same. We don't ever change. Bret's notorious for showing up late. He was, you know, that was the thing that he had told Bischoff one time when Bischoff interviewed him for coming to WCW. I do have one problem. I show up late. Bret will show up. I mean, if the show starts at 8 and he's in the main event, and he's not going to go to the ring till 10. He'll show up at 9 or 9:30. I mean, it kind of puts a promoter in a situation. Gosh, is the guy going to show up? Well, he always does show up. He never misses unless it's something extraordinary. Hard worker, dedicated. He has one match worked out that works for him very well, and he does that same match over and over again, much like Ric Flair. Mind you, he can do a lot of stuff, but he's at a point in his career where he didn't have to do a lot. He does the same match over and over. Very bland interview, I thought. He's always been that way. Most Canadian guys are that way. Not a lot of expression. Brett never showed any expression, either in interviews or if a guy was stomping him in the head, he still had the same expression on his face. He was expressionless. Right. Got a big push in the WWF for some reason that I don't know why. Great tag team. They had the Hart Foundation thing was good. Brett by himself, he was okay. He did okay. The numbers of him doing sellout business like Hogan did, or Bruno, or Superstar Billy Graham, we'll leave that to the historians.
Bret Hart was a good Intercontinental Champion. Yes, he was. Very one-dimensional. No interview skills. The expert of excellence, the technician of all technicians. And he says in an interview, he didn't like working with me because I didn't hit him hard enough. And I say, hey, Bret, who would you rather work with? Who would you rather have matches with for the next 5, 10, or 15 years of your fucking career? Me? Or Goldberg, who kicked you in the fucking head and gave you a goddamn stroke, and now you drag your foot around, you can't even get your dick hard. My left nut is fucked up from the stroking.
Yeah, man, I don't know what Honky Tonk Man is even thinking, talking about Bret Hart like that. I mean, Bret Hart is just levels above Honky Tonk Man ever was in his entire career. But that's the business of wrestling shoot interviews for you. Wrestlers love to lie. That AEW fans and wrestling fans have been debating as to whether or not AEW should sign is the former Cora Jade, now Elena Black, who, fresh out of the WWE after being released herself the last month or so, has just done a shoot interview with Ariel Helwani, where she talks about interest in potentially joining AEW amongst other topics and kinda crazy things she talked about here. She spoke about her experience in the WWE and spoke about how she kinda figured she was gonna be fired months in advance, and she also spoke about her experience being body shamed from within the company.
That and just feeling like I was in a good place. I kind of had a conversation with somebody who I won't name, but someone I kind of feel I would have had a better experience there if it wasn't for, and not Sean or Hunter or anybody. I can't praise them enough and like my time there and everything like that, but there was a conversation with somebody where I was kind of like, okay, like this is probably going to be weird in a few months. And
okay.
It was. So
is that unsettling?
I guess, yeah, at times. Like, because I feel like I can look at it and think about like things that I could have changed or like what I could have done different. And then I guess when you think about it, like there really is nothing, because I feel like I was there every day. I was cleaning up the locker rooms with Roxanne after the shows because we're from indie wrestling. Like that's what you do. Like till the day I was gone, like that's just like what you do. And I just felt like you can always look at it and think like what I could have done different. But at the end of the day, I feel comfortable in like the fact that like I got to do so much stuff I got to do with my best friend, like so many of my best friends. And I feel confident that I like stood on my like morals and like things that I spoke up about maybe that like other people wouldn't have. Like
what?
Okay, for example, I'll say this because I did put it out there, like the body shaming stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I don't want this to be bash WWE because it was my dream. Like, it still is my dream. Like, I have no doubt maybe one day in the near future I'll be there again. But I did so much stuff that like I was writing about in my notebook, like as a kid. So like I'll never like be like, oh my God, like bash WWE. But like I definitely think things could have went differently if it wasn't for certain things, like the body shaming thing. It's like I came in at 19 years old. I was like 110 pounds. Like I was so small, and it was just constant comments, whether it was from guys who think they're being funny or I'm not going to name names again, but I remember specifically being told that I wasn't and wouldn't be champion in that company because I looked like I couldn't crack an egg.
Wow.
Yeah. So
This is when you're kind of coming up. You're in the performance center and all this stuff. We just put up the tweet here because like it's kind of hard. Here it is. You're responding to someone.
Yeah.
Can't forget having to go to my own gym outside of work after strength and conditioning that wasn't doing anything for me other than get me body slammed by my boss's coworkers and fans. Crazy.
Yeah.
Body shamed. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So like you're being told that like you need to.
Yeah, multiple conversations about my body. Which
Okay.
is just, I don't think anyone, especially as another man, should be saying that to a female.
Yeah.
Like, especially as I was like so young, and it created like a lot of issues for me body wise. Like, but obviously I gained so much muscle after that. Like I worked my ass off, and then I would go to the strength and conditioning classes, which in my opinion are more geared towards like college athletes and like people who are coming in from college and they're like working on like just like getting into that type of strength and conditioning and stuff. It never felt like it was like doing anything from my body. So I'm like, you guys are yelling at me for how I look, but you're not really helping me out in the strength and conditioning that I need then. So then I would just go to my other gym afterwards. So it's like
Like your own personal gym,
Yeah.
like outside of.
yeah,
WWE
so I was
world.
working my ass off. So then when I saw like that dirt sheet, whether it's, who knows, maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't have, it was heat of the moment, shouldn't have responded maybe because who knows who even said that and if there was any truth to it at all. But seeing that, I was like, if you only knew like what I dealt with and like how much I had to like progress because of those things, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It's just crazy to me. Like people just, they say so much and then when you finally say something back, they're like, whoa, like, it's like,
Chill out.
Yeah. Like God forbid I say something back like once, you know, but it was just very frustrating. And I'm like, damn, like this is my dream. Like I didn't go to college. Like I dropped out of high school at 15 and like finished in a year online so I could like start wrestling training. Like I don't know anything else. So it's like, it is like defeating when like things like that happen, but it's like, you can only look at it as everything happens for a reason. So that's how I feel. So.
And then the topic of AEW comes up and whether or not Cora Jade or Elena Black would be interested in signing there, and she also talks about her prior experiences in AEW.
I was doing AEW actually for like that a few weeks or a month or two before like my WWE tryout, and I thought I was going to end up at AEW.
Dark matches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a few dark matches and I loved it there. Like I thought I was going to end up there first. I remember like I had like, because it was just at the time, like it was like the end of 2020, like I was kind of picking up steam on the indies and like people were doing dark and stuff, and I felt like I was going to end up there and I wanted to end up there. I remember I had like, I'm very big into like manifestation and like, just like I told you, like my intuition and stuff. I remember I made, so stupid for me to like, and embarrassing for me to say now, but I remember I made like a fake Elena Black is All Elite logo.
Yes.
And I put it above my bed.
Wow.
So whenever I went to bed, I would like manifest it every night before bed. And then it just ended up being like, I got the WWE tryout the same month that I was doing AEW, and WWE made me an offer before AEW, so I took it. But either way, I knew I wanted to be in a big wrestling company.
Okay.
Like, obviously, I've always been a lifelong WWE fan, so I wanted to be there as well. But I knew at that time I was manifesting something, and I knew I was going to end up somewhere. So,
And you said at the beginning you want to be full time again.
yes, I feel like I'm born to be a wrestler. Like,
Sure, but like there are some people who make a lot of money just being on the indie scene.
Yeah.
Do you want to be, not to beat around the bush, but like, would you like to go to AEW?
I would definitely be open to going to AEW. I loved my time there. I have a lot of friends there. Like, I watch all the shows. Like, I love the fact that they have as much creative freedom as they do. I feel like I said, I'm so much for like storylines and like character and like stuff like that. So I feel like they are very like
Sure.
creatively free in that way. So it's definitely be something I would.
Have you talked
be
to them
open
yet?
My 30 days is just yesterday, so not
Okay.
yet. But you never know. what
Maybe by the
future
end of
holds.
the day.
Yeah, maybe.
What about TNA?
I'm not closed off to that by any means. I just only feel my only hang up is I feel like I was just there, and like now they're like kind of doing like WWE and
Sure.
TNA. So I don't. It almost feels like I need to like step away from all of that for
Okay.
that world for a second. Like, I love TNA. I will definitely work there again in the future. Just right now in my time, I feel like they're too close knit together right now. Like, it'll be better for me to like kind of branch off and just kind of figure it out.
Japan, overseas,
I would love
open
to go
all
to
of
Japan. Yeah, actually, right before COVID,
And yeah, there's a whole lot more in this interview. I'll leave it linked down below. She talks about her personal health experiences and a load of other stuff in this interview. It's a great interview. I'd recommend. And yeah, this interview with Howard Stern is a very interesting one because Vince McMahon, in a lot of his interviews, he is in that Vince McMahon character, and there was a certain point in his life where he stopped taking interviews or doing them in character instead. So yeah, I'm here to talk about some of the craziest parts of this interview. Like I said, this was probably the closest thing that Vince McMahon ever did to a shoot interview. And yeah, this interview, they get straight into it. They immediately start talking about Vince McMahon's personal life on this interview, talking about his father and the territory days, which then leads to a conversation about his mother and his past trauma. And it gets very personal pretty much immediately straight into the interview in typical Howard Stern fashion.
You know, my dad, see, they had like little territories, you know, back in the day. And my dad's territory was the Northeastern Territory. And he was very successful, actually. And my premise was that what my dad sort of started in a more entertainment genre, you know, would be successful all over the globe. So, and no one ever competed with anyone else. You know, you never crossed into the other guy's territory type thing.
So you had a brainstorm, and you knew how to market this thing. That's why they call you a marketing genius, because you knew how to what is it?
When his dad did it, it was on like UHF stations back then.
Yeah.
Right, you could hardly see the
Spanish
wrestling.
stations.
Yeah,
Right.
all fuzzy.
Yeah.
I was looking through the notes. I guess it said that Vince has said that if his dad ever knew that he was going to take WWF National, he probably wouldn't have given it to him.
Well, yeah, that was because my dad had a lot of friends, these other, you know, territory owners that owned these fiefdoms. You know, my dad had a lot of friends and acquaintances.
So,
and
in
so
other
forth.
words, you crushed these people.
And I competed with them.
Right.
You know,
And you won.
you know,
I mean, so
yeah.
what? Big
You
deal.
crushed them. You put them
That's
out
what you do in business.
right?
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
My dad was not too thrilled with that at first, though.
And your dad has since died, right?
Yes.
He's no longer alive. Your mother, I read in Playboy, I was shocked. Your mother, you're not in touch with because you said that's got to be terrible.
I didn't say that.
Wait
It was
a
the
minute.
inference.
Hold it.
Yeah.
What did she do?
I don't know, but whatever it was not good. Because Vince, you get all choked up when you talk about it, right?
I'd rather not talk about that subject.
Damn, that's a good one.
Your mother's
Yeah, I know.
around.
You ought to wrestle hard. Never mind your son.
Storyline.
Your mother is around and you don't talk to her.
Not a lot.
Boy, did she blow it, because, man, you're a billionaire.
Does she get any money from the WWF?
I just realized what I said. Did she blow it? That's the question.
That was wrong, Howard.
Vince, I apologize. How dare I?
How dare
No, I mean,
you.
that would be traumatic. That would make me
That would
crazy.
be traumatic, right.
You do
Well,
not?
wait a minute. She doesn't get any of the money.
No.
Oh, nice. Cut her off.
Just sit there and watch it.
Hey, just because she gave birth to you don't mean that she's entitled to that WWF money.
Baby's a billionaire.
Yeah. Nice move, Mom.
And straight from discussing his parents, he goes straight into discussing his wife, Linda McMahon, and their relationship, and pretty much just on the fly, on the air, admits that he's cheated on her like hundreds of times.
No time for that. No. But wait, so in other words, there's a lot of temptation. When you're a billionaire, you're a nice-looking guy.
Who are you doing?
Yeah. Who are you doing? Who did you
Me?
get? Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
No one.
No,
Just
years ago, who'd you get?
Oh,
give us the list.
If it had a skirt, you know. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, was it just the girls who hang around wrestling, or did you go outside?
No, it was, you know, fair game.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, no, I
famous
just, you know,
women?
Maybe smell your fingers.
No, I don't. No, but I mean, it's just one of those things where you wake up one day and you recognize, you know, that, you know, it's not just all about, you know, your individual sexual gratification. It's about relationships.
And
or
did your
whatever.
wife know this was going on all the
Gee, I
time?
hope I get to that point.
You know, you know, but I think, you know, when she married me, you know, I promised her several things. You know, one, there'd never be a dull moment, which there hasn't been.
Yeah, I'll say.
And that I'd always love her, and I always have. So,
Right.
I mean, really, I don't know. I'm sort of like, I like the all-American type, and my wife actually is like what I really like.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not too sure. I wouldn't like kind of looking for, you know, parts of my wife and other women type of thing.
How did you get away, though, with cheating and never getting caught? I never heard anything about you ever with another woman.
Right.
What do you do, the hotel room thing?
He had to tell on himself.
Yeah, and how do you get... You got so bored you told on yourself.
I know.
You're like, hey, honey, what's wrong with you? You don't know I'm cheating.
You with other women.
Nobody will catch me. I'm going to turn myself in.
Yeah. I mean,
One day she asked, so I mean...
Right. Oh, she did? She just walked up and you said, Vince, are you having sex with another woman? And you said, yes.
Right.
Come here, I'm going to have to knock you around.
Really? Wait a minute. Hold it.
You never do that.
Well, I understand you're not supposed to do that.
Right.
But did you tell her how many?
And
I mean,
then
did
she
you
asked
have the
this.
full-
Oh, you gave her the list?
Oh, yeah, what are you going to do, you know?
You must be strong. Oh.
No wonder you started bulking up.
Yeah. You are kidding me.
No, it's just the way it happened.
You got guts.
No, we've always been honest with each other. So
But wait a minute. The kids. Did the kids know?
Hell no. You don't tell your kids. Your kids will hate you.
But his kids are traveling with him and in the business with him.
Yeah, well, now they'll keep their mouth shut. They're going to inherit the whole motherland. Are you kidding me?
They know.
Well, they know everything about me.
Yeah. Now they know.
Again, I'm pretty open with everything.
Why didn't your wife shoot you or cut it off like Bob?
I don't know.
She's a good woman.
Did she
She's a
get
great
pretty
woman.
angry? She must have gotten pretty angry.
She did, yes.
Do you have to go to marriage therapy after you admit something like that?
No.
You don't. You're not where you're going to that.
This man is
therapist.
not going to marriage therapy, okay?
You're not?
No.
See, I would have thought I would have gotten dragged in if I admitted to that. It's unbelievable. Now the storyline in the WWF is that you are trying to divorce your wife.
Actually, I started to divorce my wife, and then I found a better way because, see, if you get divorced, then you lose sometimes half of everything you've earned. So,
but what's that mean to you? I mean, if you have $1 billion, so let's say you have a half a billion.
Yeah, but my character is one that, you know, I mean, $1 billion's not enough. I mean, it's got to be $2 billion or $50 billion or whatever. I mean, it's right. Avarice.
He then goes on to talk about Bob Costas, who is a sports reporter or journalist who interviewed Vince about the XFL, and Vince got super heated in this interview like he's done in many interviews before. This is one of many interviews that are the reason why he doesn't do them anymore.
Here now, Vince McMahon. Thanks for coming, Vince. Can you guarantee me right now that there will be a year 2 for the XFL?
What a ridiculous statement. What?
It's not a statement, it's a question.
It's a question. I beg your pardon. It's a question. No.
If this turns out to be a grand-scale failure...
You want to let me finish here for a second, pal? Shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer. You got a situation that you don't know what you're talking about.
Vince, we've got to go.
Oh, it's too bad. This is such a delightful show, Bob. And thank you so much for having me on.
I appreciate your coming on.
Oh,
thank you very much.
It's a delight.
And there is more just ahead, my friends.
Got a whole big special coming up. That's now, is that this Sunday?
No, WrestleMania is April 1.
Oh, April 1.
Right.
And Stone Cold Steve Austin will go against The Rock in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And these things are huge. I mean, the pay-per-view is huge. It's nothing else on pay-per-view that actually makes
Howard,
money.
those are the biggest things.
They are the biggest.
Wrestling.
They are.
The buy rate is like 3%, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, and he figured that out, too.
So when your critics say, oh, it's too violent and all this stuff, you're like, F you, man. Obviously, this is what people want, right?
No question. I mean, the critics generally never watch us. They just...
Well, as Bob Costa says, are you right to give the people what they want?
And you are. Why not? Were you really angry with Bob Costas in that interview?
Disappointed, I think, more than angry. I mean, you know, Costas at one time was a real fun-loving type of a guy. You know, I mean, after all, sports is supposed to be fun. You know,
right.
Somewhere along the line.
It's entertainment.
Yeah, guys like Costas and other elitists just kind of like, well, we have this high moral ground. And
is Costas a pansy? Is that what you're trying to say?
Costas a pansy.
Yeah.
There's no question he's a pansy. I started asking him what color panties he was wearing, but, you know, I was afraid he'd tell me.
Yeah, right. You don't want to know that.
No.
No. Jesus Christ. I mean, where is people's sense of humor?
I know. They take themselves so damn seriously.
Does anybody take it really seriously?
Yeah, they do. I mean, and after all, you know, they're supposed to be writing about sports. Well, sports is not serious. I mean,
right.
Well, you know what they're probably jealous of is wrestling was always the thing you snickered about.
Yeah.
And now there are columns about it in the paper and the like. It's gotten some respectability.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
And then following this, there's a load of questions coming in from callers and people in the studio. And they go over some pretty interesting topics here, like the lawsuits they were involved in, Hulk Hogan and his involvement in the steroid scandal. They talk about Bret Hart and the Montreal Screwjob and how he was going to WCW. They also talk about buying WCW and how Vince McMahon said he would absolutely do that. And sure enough, just literally a few days after this interview, it was announced that the WWE had purchased WCW.
What is it with your wrestling federation? Well, as soon as you want to get rid of someone, they turn around, they sue you. I mean, what was the girl we had on here who said she wanted to sue Vince?
Whatever her name was.
Sable.
Right.
What did you do wrong? You want to change characters.
Right.
And then everyone turns around and sues you.
Right.
As if you owe them a job for life. This I don't understand.
Nor do I.
So what do you do? I mean, you've got probably a team of lawyers working endlessly, right?
Well, no, again, you know, eventually, I mean, you have to stand your ground naturally.
Right.
You know, and you just do that and just, you know, wait it out and do what you have to do. But
see, that's the part that I would...
These wrestlers are always running back and forth from one organization to another. And it's very weird, you know? They want to stay in wrestling, but now they're going to go work for this guy, and then they're going to come back to you later on after they've sued you because you rehire them.
Michael, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Listen, speaking about lawsuits, from what I heard from this Costas interview, I know Costas came close, but didn't really ask Mr. McMahon about this case down here in Florida where the little boy was tried for killing the little girl, and the attorney raised the wrestling defense. You know, Mr. McMahon and his organization had sued the defense lawyer.
Good.
For defamation and
so on and so
Well,
forth.
it's true. I mean, where are the parents? You've said this a million times. Where are the parents of this? I mean, you telling me a kid watches wrestling on TV? I knew a kid. I remember when I was a little kid, Superman was on TV, and someone tried to sue because their kid flew out the window because he saw Superman on TV.
Well, he didn't fly out the window.
Well, he did. He actually he couldn't
like a
fly.
rock.
Yeah, kid thought he was from Krypton. I remember it was a real sad case and everything. But the fact of the matter is, there are people who are just crazy.
They don't have any judgment at all.
So what are we going to do? End all entertainment in the hopes that the 1 in a billion person who can't handle it on TV is going to... what's going on with all that?
Yeah, they just threw out a case against natural-born killers because some people were claiming they got the inspiration for their crime spree from that movie.
Yeah.
That's still a far cry from the WWF suing the defense lawyer.
No, they should.
Are you suing the
Stop
defense
these
lawyer?
guys from using these defenses.
We may be. The defense lawyer came up with this hoax, type situation, claiming that the kid was emulating and only emulating wrestling maneuvers, and that's not the case. I mean, they didn't even have that defense for several weeks after, the incident. And the kid's mother, who works for the Highway Patrol in law enforcement, was allegedly asleep upstairs and listening to all of this going on. At one time, even opened the door and allegedly said, "What the hell is going on?" and was told that Tiffany was the young 6-year-old who died. Tiffany's raising hell, and she says, and the woman said, "Well, if in fact she doesn't stop it, I'm going to come down and beat her ass." Now that's the mother saying that,
right?
And it's all your fault that
it's
she's
all my
now
fault
dead.
somehow. And this kid's 170 pounds, and what he did was obviously not emulating wrestling maneuvers.
Yeah.
It was a hoax. The whole defense was a
Yeah,
hoax.
they were looking, and they wanted to call, WWF members, people who are in the WWF
Right.
as witnesses, like they'd have something to say about it.
Right. Okay, Ralph, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Howard, how you doing?
Hey, man, what's up?
You're the funniest, man.
Thank you.
Listen, Vince, why don't you tell Howard how you screwed Bret Hart 2 years ago?
Sure.
A couple of years ago.
Okay, I'll be happy to.
Well, why did Vince screw her? Screw him.
Him.
Screw him.
You mean
He
the guy
calls
who
him
died? The guy who
belt.
died?
In WrestleMania, he embarrassed him right in
his
front of his
brother?
home crowd.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you want to say to this guy, Vince?
Well, it was a situation whereby Bret Hart, who was one of our great performers, we had a difference of opinion, and Bret was going to go work for Ted Turner's WCW.
Right.
And he wasn't going to do what we call in our business the honors going out.
Right. Which means, say goodbye?
Say goodbye the right way and lose the title and that sort of stuff. And
Right.
so in any event, we had a difference of opinion there, and Bret didn't want to go out the way that he should, which is the time-honored tradition and also good business, by the way. And so, in essence, I just let him believe that he was going to have it his way and screwed him in the ring. Yep.
Why are you fighting your son in the ring? What's up with that? What's the storyline there?
The storyline there is, again, it's like Shane's taking up for my wife, who, by the way, was comatose, and,
These stories.
Right, yeah.
I mean, she's in a sanitarium. She had a nervous breakdown because I was having an affair with this gal, Trish.
Right.
So it's interesting soap opera.
End up down here. What's going on?
I just came down here.
Because you heard Vince was here.
Yes.
Are you huge wrestling fans?
Yes.
How old are you guys?
21. 19.
You got jobs yet, or are you still in college?
You got jobs.
You got jobs. Neither of you guys have ever been late, I bet.
Oh, Tom. I live with my girl.
You got to be kidding me.
Nope.
And what is your question for Vince? I mean, you've been waiting out there all day.
What do you got to say?
What do you got to say to Vince?
So, you going to take over WCW?
That's the question?
Yeah,
that's the question.
That's a good question, WCW. What are you going to do? It's falling apart.
Yeah, in all likelihood, yes.
Really?
Wow.
We'll see.
That's big.
Could you get Hogan before Monday, if that happens?
What are you saying? Hulk Hogan would then become your property again?
Well, no.
It depends if he's under contract or not.
I see. Are you still interested in him, or is he a has-been? He's yesterday's news, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's, he's still a tiger. I don't know how many teeth he has left, but he's still a tiger.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you. These guys never seem to want to retire.
Right.
Some of them don't.
I mean, Randy Savage.
Right.
Isn't he 100?
Has Hulk Hogan stayed around wrestling too long? I mean, you tried to get rid of him, and, you did. I mean, is it enough with him? Is that what you're saying?
Well, in terms of, day-to-day competitiveness and stuff like that, obviously he can't hang, with the young guys now. I mean,
Right.
No one can at that age.
Right.
But
What is his age?
I think he's about...
60?
No. I don't know. I guess 47.
Right.
That's when you're not able to hang.
See, this is where you see you're unfortunate in the position that you've got to be the guy to tell these guys, look, you're too old. You've been around too long.
Well, not that they still don't have personality, they still don't have some value
Yeah, maybe
on an
they
ongoing
could become
basis.
managers of younger
Well,
guys.
that could easily happen. Spokesperson, you know, that kind of a stuff, and and an occasion, do the old Babe Ruth stuff every now and then.
Do you not like this guy personally?
He's all right. We had some differences. We were really close at one time,
right?
And we had some differences during the steroid trial stuff.
Right.
And
He accused you of giving him steroids or something?
He really didn't accuse me. It's a thing whereby the government kind of put the finger on him, and
He had to say it his way.
No, I don't think anybody has to say anything. Especially when it comes to the government. I'm not real big on that.
Right.
But and he disappointed me. He's not the stand-up guy that I would be for him in role reversal.
You would have stood up for him.
You would have gone down for him.
Careful how you say that.
But he doesn't go down for any man.
But, I would have done the right thing, I think, and again, he had a lot of pressure on his family and that sort of stuff and thought he may go to jail and for some reason.
So he turned on you.
Well,
and he didn't exactly turn on me. He really walked that fine line where...
Did he lie about you?
He didn't tell the entire truth, but he wasn't really, even though he was a government witness, he didn't help them out all that much either. He really walked the line.
But it just burned you and said, hey, what kind of friend are you?
Well, nothing ultimately happened to you, though.
It disappointed.
Yeah, well, luckily nothing happened to him, but something could have.
And yeah, that's kind of the crux of that interview. After that, the rest of the interview and the footage I could find is just more redundant questions and just marks asking for jobs. That's all that's really going on for the rest of this interview here. And yeah, the Vince McMahon interview on the Howard Stern show in 2001 is kind of wild to look back on. Obviously, it's not aged very well and kind of aged quite poorly with the recent lawsuit and everything surrounding Vince McMahon right now. The way he talks about his relationship with Linda McMahon is absolutely just wild, and he's just so casual about it. If you don't know Ariel Helwani, he is maybe the most popular interviewer in combat sports, more specifically MMA and the UFC, but he does also dabble in professional wrestling, as demonstrated by his October 2022 interview with AEW GM Tony Khan, right at the height of the Brawl Out fallout. Yeah, October 2022, a very turbulent time for AEW, as literally CM Punk, the Elite, and everyone involved in the Brawl Out segment had just been suspended, and it was what everyone wanted Tony Khan to talk about. However, that unfortunately just wouldn't happen here with this interview, as Tony Khan set out in this interview to avoid pretty much every question possible and give a middle ground fence-sitting answer to damn near everything. And it made for quite the boring, awkward, and at times unpleasant interview.
Labor Day. I mean, I was just trying to watch you as Punk, who I know quite well, was, saying what he had to say. I was dying to know what was just happening in your mind in that moment as all that was unfolding. Could you share any of that with us?
I cannot share any of that with you.
Okay.
But I
Were you upset?
you asked. I can't talk about it, but I appreciate, and understand that you had to ask.
Fair enough. Could I ask, what is the state of your relationship with CM Punk?
You can ask, but I appreciate that you asked, but I cannot answer that, my friend.
Okay, fair enough. Could I ask, what's the state of his relationship with AEW? Like, is he going to come back? Is he suspended? I think there's a lot of intrigue, a lot of questions regarding where he sits right now. I know he's nursing an injury, but is he going to come back, or is that up in the air?
You can ask, but I cannot answer that and comment, my friend.
Fair enough. And what about the other particulars involved in the alleged incident afterwards? Can you comment on their status with the company? Are they back at least?
The whole thing. I just
the whole thing.
Talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I
understand. I had to ask.
I understand what you got to do. Hey, if you read online that New Japan's not working with AEW, that they're going to work with WWE, that's not true, because AEW and New Japan have a very strong relationship. Here's why. And then I explained it, and I had heard Nick called them, and that was why I did it. I've also told him this since. So I've not it was not like, it was just an honest thing. It was, yeah.
You said that to Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, so you have talked to him?
Not in person. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, you asked if I'd seen him in person.
You had conversations. I didn't even know that. You've had conversations with him?
Yeah, I've spoken to him.
About what?
I don't know. But nevertheless,
Was it a positive conversation?
I don't want to get into it, if I may, but again, this is I understand why you asked, but I cannot.
By the way, shoot right now. I'm shooting. had no idea you've ever talked to him. That's why I asked the question. It wasn't like,
well, yeah, I'm super transparent. I mean, I haven't met him, but I have talked to him. And
was it recently?
after this. I don't want to say.
Okay.
But.
And yeah, it's safe to say that the viewers and the fans weren't the only ones that were frustrated with this interview, as Ariel Helwani himself would also go on to vent his frustrations not too long after this interview took place, as he labelled his interview with Tony Khan the most frustrating of his entire career.
Look, whatever I'm going to say here is going to piss off the AEW supermarks, but I'll just say this. One of the most frustrating and, to a degree, not so fun interviews of my career, because, as you may have seen, he didn't want to answer anything. Now look, like, you're going to come on and promote X, Y, and Z, great, and I'll play that dance with you, and I did at the beginning, but you got to give us something. To not even tell me, like, how you were feeling. I'm not asking for specifics on, all right, fine, I asked, is Punk going to wrestle for you? Is he coming back? You don't want to get into it, fine, but just tell me how you were feeling. Give me something. MJF contract. Hey, I don't do business in the public, but I'll tell you, love having him on board. Look forward to many years together. But give me something. Don't just say, not going to talk about it. Not going to talk about it. Doesn't serve me. Doesn't serve me. That's not the way you do it. If you want to be the voice, if you want to be the face, there's a way to do that dance. Look at Eddie. Look at Dana back in the day. Look at some of the great promoters over the last 30 years. There's a way of giving us the answer, even though it's not the answer I want, but you're giving us some sort of answer, something to chew on, as opposed to just shutting it all down. Not very enjoyable. And if I'm being honest, like, right off the bat, I was like, oh, I think you didn't like me back in the day, because he turned down multiple interviews with me. And then we get right into the MJF thing and, like, really deep into the weeds on the PR stuff. And I was like, golly, this is how we're starting? All right. I just, took a shot at BT, the ITV stuff, should have went back at him and reminded him 2 minutes ago that he, was fawning over Warner Brothers Discovery about being the greatest place for AEW. Meanwhile, BT is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, and yet he's telling me that ITV is a better place than BT. Like, just these things that were, discrepancies. He says he never met Nick Khan, then he says he talked to him on the phone. I was like, what are we doing here?
And yeah, there would be beef between Tony Khan and Ariel Helwani that would ignite a couple of months later when Tony Khan would tweet out saying, "You're a fraud at Ariel Helwani, you're as legitimate as a reporter as Tony Schiavone." To which Ariel would respond saying, "Thanks for watching, old friend, can't wait for our next chat. Also, don't listen to the snowman, Schiavone, you're a legend in my books." To which Tony Khan responded saying, "Good luck with the unbiased journalism." This beef stemmed from Ariel Helwani's involvement in WWE programming, with Tony Khan calling him out, calling him not unbiased.
And I see this tweet from Tony Khan, and I swear to God, I looked at it like 3 times and thought it was fake. I thought it was fake because, anyone can have a blue check, right?
Anyone can be
verified.
verified.
Like, there is no way. This guy doesn't follow
me.
He's never tweeted me. There is no way that he actually tweeted this. Number one, proving that he was watching, which is bizarre. Why would you do that? Why would you put the competition over and show that you're watching some random SmackDown and a random moment in the telecast? Number two, putting down his own guy in the process, your guy, GC, the great Tony Schiavone, Atlanta sports legend, calling me a fraud, and then saying that I am as much of a journalist as Tony Schiavone. I mean, the real thing he should have done was not say anything, because number one, why are you putting over, the competition's broadcast? Your show is coming up. Nice little cheeky hashtag there on the tweet as well. But like this shit, I mean, you talk about an own goal. And I know Fulham's having a bit of a better season. They certainly haven't had a great run with the Khans involved. But I mean, this was, one of the all-time great own goals. And I just couldn't believe it. I really had to check multiple times. Was this really him?
But yeah, it was definitely a poor showing from Tony Khan in that interview with Ariel Helwani, and really did no favors for him or AEW at a time of crisis for AEW post-Brawl Out. As the next interview in this list involves another man by the name of Tony, that being none other than Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian. If you've never heard of Tony Hinchcliffe and are wondering why I'm talking about him on a wrestling video, it's because he does actually have a loose connection to wrestling, which you might recognize him from, as he was the one that hosted that very controversial WrestleMania roast event that they did this year. And Tony Hinchcliffe is also host of the weekly live comedy show Kill Tony, where himself and a bunch of comedian panelists one by one judge aspiring comedians who do 1-minute sets. And the reason I bring this up is because none other than the Nature Boy Ric Flair would be a guest on an episode of Kill Tony, as in September 2023 he appeared on the show, and safe to say that Ric Flair and Kill Tony was not a good mix. Obviously on the show everyone there is a comedian, so they're all roasting each other, making fun of each other, and Ric Flair didn't really seem to vibe with that and ended up feeling guilty when he gave negative feedback to one of the comedians and actually apologized to him.
Flair, you just watched one of our future stars, one of the regular people that have built a career on this show, have a really rough set. Do you have any words of advice? You're the GOAT. You've had a rough night of work before, right?
I have, but I'm not that rough.
Hans, you're in the position. Who do you think you're going to get challenged by next week?
I apologize, sir.
No, you don't have to apologize on this show.
You're not a POW, Cap. You don't have to call him sir. Nothing personal.
Woo! The luckiest man.
Hans Kim, next week you're challenged.
I'm supporting you. I'm just telling you the truth.
It really came off as though Ric Flair just didn't understand the format of the show and didn't really gel with the format of the show, and when he got caught on his phone and started getting picked on by the other panelists, it got a bit awkward, it got a bit tense, as he would then go on a big rant about anti-bullying and Reed Flair, and it would end with him walking off the show.
People.
They don't.
Ric Flair's asleep. Did he fall asleep?
Oh, sorry. I don't know.
No, he's on his phone. He's on his phone.
Okay.
He's
He's like fun Joe Biden.
He's scrolling.
It's literally.
He's scrolling the Breitbart app.
Teasers these days on their phone. Am I right, guys?
Shut up, Daniel. You're not part of this thing. We just saw one of the worst performances ever in the history of the show. Ric Flair, any advice for Daniel Shepard?
Oh, no, that's Ric Flair. God damn it. Fuck.
God damn it.
Well, like you would have done good if you knew.
No. That would have done worse. God damn it.
What did it say?
What, you think that was your dead aunt?
Yeah, I get it. Thank you. No, you're
Not really.
incredible. Thank you. Hey, no. Hey, guys.
Woo! I didn't even mean to say woo that first time. I'm just inspired.
Shut up,
Whoa.
Daniel.
Whoa. I want people to understand something. I'm here having fun, but as long as it's fun, it's fun. When it becomes something that I'm not comfortable with and saying something bad, I don't do that. And the minute it goes that way, I'm out of here.
Like sideways Asian
no.
pussy.
What's that?
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah. That was my attempt to be humorous. But I will never, ever embarrass anybody or humiliate anybody. The minute that happens on this show, I'm out of here.
You're not going to do that. We're going to do that for you. You're the good cop.
No.
Daniel just embarrassed himself.
I'm not the good cop. I respect these people. You guys get it?
You shouldn't.
You have made me who I am today. I'm not here to fuck anybody up. I laugh. The minute someone says something disrespectful to me or to you, I'm out of here.
We're not going to be disrespectful to you. We will make fun of these people that sign up for the show.
I'm in serious.
No, we make fun of them.
No,
That's
you
part of
guys are so nice. I'm ready to leave in that 1 minute, guys.
No, don't leave.
I love you. I am.
Don't leave, Rick. No, don't leave.
No, hang
You know
out.
why?
No.
I'm uncomfortable with the format. I appreciate the opportunity.
No, come on, Rick.
I will never, ever.
Yo, you did so bad, Ric Flair. Damn, dude.
Oh, my God.
Nice going.
Hey, This is a fever dream. No humor in the world that makes fun of people.
Might actually be all humor.
Guess what? I apologize. I'm not one of them.
Fuck.
No, hey. Actually, to be honest with you, I respect that very much. My son was a great amateur wrestler, and this is why I'm going to make this. This is why. Come here, guys. This is why I'm leaving after I say this.
No, come on.
No, stop. No. I have more respect for people that take their time to support any youthful athletic event. My son was a great amateur wrestler. He died of a heroin overdose.
Oh.
In 2013. I don't need to hear that. I'm over that. But anybody that could take time away from their life to support kids and make them better, because I can tell you right now, from personal experience, and because I believe it in my heart.
You ever had Asian
You're
pussy?
I guess that's funny.
What are the...
Oh, no.
Thank you for all the respect.
We lost Ric Flair, everybody. I love you, Rick. Thanks for doing this. I'll see you afterwards. No, you're good. You're good. We love you.
Thank you all for all the respect. But I will never sign up to make fun of people that donate their time. I won't.
Oh.
I swear to God, I respect you all, and thank you for coming out. I can have fun. I will never make fun of time of people that donate their personal time to making children better.
Ric Flair, everybody.
It did seem pretty respectful the way he walked off in the end, but it was definitely very awkward, as Ric Flair clearly just did not want to be there at all. And the final interview to talk about on this list is one that comes from the Howard Stern Show. Howard Stern has had many controversial wrestler interviews on his show, from John Cena to Goldust to Chris Kanyon to Booker T, which we are discussing here, as Booker T would have some heat with the Howard Stern Show, as after a weak appearance on The Weakest Link, after he had a not so good performance whatsoever and got damn near every question incorrect, Howard Stern would send one of his quote-unquote reporters to interview Booker T to give him even more trivia questions. And I put reporter in quotes because the guy they sent, aka Stuttering John, was just a worker for the Howard Stern Show, and they only sent him to try and get a reaction out of Booker T and poke the bear, essentially. And that is exactly what they got with this very tense interview.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, The Weakest Link had one of those celebrity weakest links, and there was a guy named Booker T who was on there. He couldn't answer the simplest question.
Oh, geez.
No disrespect intended. He came off really bad. So I said to John, Booker T was signing something. I said, go down there, let the guy redeem himself. Ask him a couple of simple questions.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah. So Booker T got pissed.
Oh, boy.
Here's Stuttering John with Booker T.
How you doing? Stuttering John. Nice to meet you.
Why you ain't stuttering, man?
Not yet, but maybe I will be in a little while. This is for WXRK Radio, E! Entertainment Television. How are you, man?
Good, man. Good.
Just a few questions. Do you think The Weakest Link was a hard show?
Actually, it's harder than people think it is, you know, because you're under pressure. You got to think on your feet. And it's just you got to be in your element. So it's a pretty hard show.
Yeah, I know you didn't have like the greatest time on the show, but let's prove that that's a fluke, right?
Oh yeah, it's a fluke.
So let me ask you, what state has the abbreviation NY?
New York.
See, let's prove this. What company did Bill Gates create?
What did he create? I really don't know that one.
Okay.
What is it?
Microsoft.
Microsoft, okay.
What state is Hillary Clinton a senator of?
What state is it? Arkansas?
What's that?
Arkansas?
Very good. What state did the New Orleans...
Wait.
Oh, come on, Booker.
So now Booker T rips up John's question.
He takes the question.
Yes.
Yeah, he got pissed. I was just trying to help the guy out, but I didn't realize he didn't know where Hillary Clinton was from.
The first half of his name is Book, and I don't think I've ever read one.
But he got really pissed off and...
Come on.
Get him the hell out of here because I'm not here to answer all these stupid questions.
No, this is like the weakest link.
No, this is
stupid questions.
What's with the stupid questions?
Stupid answer.
not the weakest link.
Oh, Book, aren't you a Howard Stern fan?
No, I'm not a Howard Stern fan. Actually, I'm not.
Oh, why?
Because he's off into degrading women.
The WWF doesn't degrade women.
No. They have underwear wrestling for women.
How's he gonna attack me for degrading women?
No. And that's something I'm not off into.
Well, we love women.
No, I don't think so. I think you love degrading women.
Really?
Yes.
Is that the only...
What about Vince McMahon?
It's probably just degrading women. That's something that he's good at. That's something that he's made a living at doing for quite some time.
Well, you know...
I've degraded a lot of men, dude.
You know Robin?
Robin who?
Quivers. She's on the show.
Yeah, the female? Yes,
Yeah,
I've seen
I
her.
mean, she's a woman.
And she has to make a living also.
I didn't realize you weren't a fan because, you know, we really support WWF.
Well, I mean, maybe you may support WWF, but I don't support Howard Stern.
So you don't want me to ask you any more of these questions? This is fun.
Not any more of those stupid questions.
Any of those kind of? Like, let me ask you. You know, how many sides to an octagon?
You got balls.
I'll kill you.
Weren't you afraid?
I thought he was gonna kill it, Robin. I swear to God, the guy's like huge. I swear, I thought he was gonna punch me.
7.
You don't like me that much, do you?
I don't like you at all.
8 seconds.
You're not gonna kick my ass or anything.
I'm getting close to kicking your ass.
Let me ask you one more, then I'm done. I promise. Okay, what does www stand for? Like, you know, when it says like www.cbs.com.
I'm not computer literate.
All right. Well, listen, Book. I'm sorry you didn't like us. But do you still hate Howard?
I didn't say I hated him. I don't hate anyone.
Do you still hate me?
I don't hate you either.
Do you still dislike Howard?
I just like what he represents.
And yeah, a few months later, Booker T does go on the Howard Stern show, and it's super intense because they all think Booker T is going to beat up Stuttering John because Booker openly says he has beef with him. They even lock him in a separate part of the studio, but the two, they make amends and it's all fine. And the interview with Booker T isn't super exciting. I think the best part of Booker T on Howard Stern was definitely the stuff with the weakest link and all that is just pretty hilarious, I can't lie. No time wasted as we're first talking about New Jack, who is a man with many wrestling shoe interviews to his name and many controversies and incidents within the wrestling business to his name as well. He was another case of a guy who could just never switch it off. He was New Jack in the ring and he was New Jack out of the ring. And maybe his biggest controversy was when he had a scaffold match in XPW with Vic Grimes, where Vic Grimes was thrown off the scaffold and completely missed the ring full of the tables to break away the fall, with New Jack admitting in multiple interviews that he did this on purpose and was trying to kill him.
Let's go. He said, I can't do it, Jack. I'm scared. It's too high. And we having this conversation 20 feet above the floor. I said, Vic, on 3. 1, 2, 3. And I pulled him, he pulled back. I pulled him down on top of me and I hit that first table and he did his flip and he caught up with me. And his back ended up against my head and it slammed my head against the floor and it cracked my skull and I had brain fluid coming out my nose and my ear. I got nerve damage in my red eye. And I can't see out of my red eye right now. And I will never be able to see out of my red eye again in my life. And I have short term, my memory is about 2 or 3 days old. And I get headaches. And sometimes my eyes get like bloodshot like they are now. For no reason. Then I go 3 or 4 days and I don't sleep. Hey, but that's part of New Jack being New Jack. That's why I tell some people, bro, I said, when I lay down and die, I'll probably be fucking happy. Because I ain't got to suffer through this bullshit no more. And I ain't never asked no pity party for nobody. I ain't asked no sympathy from nobody. But I done tore my body up so goddamn bad for these fucking fans. It's like, when I ain't got to feel this shit no more, I'll be glad. And that night, it changed me. It took a lot out of me. And I don't play games with myself. I ain't been the same since that night. Vic didn't hurt me, I hurt me. But I allowed that cocksucker to be a part of it. And when I was able to see when I came back, the first thing I did was walk in Buffalo, New York and smack Vic right in his fucking eye, and I was ready to fight him. I couldn't even hardly see him. Because he was telling people at one point, yeah, you saw me hurt New Jack. No, you didn't hurt me, Vic. I hurt me. And then with the XPW, and I threw his ass over a 40-foot scalpel. I had a stun gun with 350 volts in it. We 40 feet up in the air, and I took it and I shocked him in his fucking neck about 4 or 5 times, 8. And then I threw him. And he said, Drake, I can't feel my legs. I said, don't worry about your legs, Vic, I got you. But he had stacked 12 tables up in the ring. He touched one. Vic over them tables. I was trying to throw him. I wanted him to land on a post, the turnbuckle post. I was hoping that he landed head first on top of that pole. But they had moved the scaffold back about another 5 feet before when they was building the scaffold over the ring. And I threw him as hard as I could, and he hit the rope and bounced back in the ring. I wanted that to hit the floor. I wanted him to die. I ain't got no love for Vic, none, because he's a fucking idiot. Sure it is.
New Jack has also been involved in other incidents where he has stabbed wrestlers, yes, not once, but multiple times. And there's one clip here where he's talking about an incident with this involving a Florida independent wrestler, and he just talks about it so casually, like it's just any day for him.
Recent touch with the law.
Yeah.
Oh God, I had this Mark, man. He was a ring dude, and he asked me to do a match with him. He wanted to do hardcore. He had been doing hardcore. Okay. I started talking to him about the match and this and the other. He didn't know what I was talking about. He didn't know what kayfabe meant. He didn't know if he was a face or a heel. He didn't know what the word color meant. He didn't know nothing other than I don't give a fuck. Whatever you want to do, that's what we're doing. I said, right on. We get in the ring. We lock up. He punched me in the eye. He punched me in the jaw. And I grabbed him, and we hooked up. He tried to pick me up and dump me, and I had a blade, about an 8-inch blade in my pocket, in my pants, and I pulled it out, and I started stabbing him. And they said I stabbed him 14 times, and I did not stab him 14 times. I stabbed him 9. It was 9. It's on the tape. It was 9. Well, cops came. I went to jail. He asked me. He came out of jail. He said, if you would train me, I'll drop the charges. I said, it's done. I said, you are trained, bro. He said, you take me on the road with you? I said, done. Clean my front seat out tomorrow. Went to court, charged the drop. I got the fuck out of Florida. Ain't been back since. Fuck him. First of all, he ain't had no business being in the ring with me. All right? This is not celebrity wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to let you get in there and get your jollies off because you've been watching me on tape all your life. Would I do it again? Yeah, I'd do it again. I'll stab the shit out of somebody else again if that shit happened to me again in the ring. Do I feel bad about stabbing him? No. Should he have died? Yeah. I'm glad he didn't, but it is what it is. That's what happened. I take my job very serious.
What's going through your head when something like that's going on?
Crank the cop up and get the hell out. Bruh, I was thinking 95 North or 10 West. I just want to get the hell out. Other than listening to that knife sliding in and out of his flesh, it didn't bother me one bit. I was sticking the shit out of him. And each time I made the same noise. Hope I got bond money.
Is that an adrenaline rush to you?
As sick as it may sound, no, it's more funny to me. To have some idiot in the ring thinking that he can handle you like that and you've been in this business as long as I have. It's not an adrenaline rush. It's some old shit. I shouldn't have done that shit. but I'm doing it now. Too late. Here it comes. You know, now let me get an attorney and get the fuck out of here. That's it. There's no adrenaline rush. I knew I was going to jail. What the fuck? I stabbed the boy 9 times, dog, with a blade about this long. And that much of it was going in him. That wasn't a rush. That was like, damn, I hate to hit that camera. So it was. That's all that was. Nothing else.
But yeah, next up is one of the most infamous wrestling shoot interviews of all time. I'm talking about Teddy Hart's interview with the best friends, Trent and Chuck Taylor. Teddy Hart is a very controversial name in the wrestling industry. He's one of the castaways of the Hart family. He has various allegations about him, a criminal record, and quite the reputation in the wrestling industry. And this interview was very revealing and very creepy. As you can see, Trent and Chuck Taylor are very visibly kind of scared to be there. And yeah, this interview is such a big event that there's other wrestlers in the room watching them conduct this interview because Teddy Hart is such a controversial figure. They talk about his arrests and rehab, and he just brings it up so casually at the end.
Teddy. Hi guys, how are you? You were nice enough to wake me up and tell me to come down here and do an interview with you guys and make me part of your little team instead of the guy that gets fucking laughed at when he leaves the room, you know what I mean? Because I'm not dumb. If you don't know me, I try to make it fun enough that guys can at least go, that Teddy Hart's nuts or fun. At least
You're a wild card, man.
I never work, guys. There's no point. I don't get an award for it. People don't like me anyway, so I'm like, I get nothing out of lying. If I said I had 4 girlfriends and then showed you a video camera of it, it would be Ted's a braggadocious prick like Chris Hero talks shit. That wasn't cool. That was fucked up. Yeah.
I spilled my beer. I got nervous.
Goes to Chris Benoit right there.
I feel like your life and my life are real fucking different. Is Drew Galloway the sexiest man in wrestling? That's a question from.
Honestly, here we have to go to sexiest man in wrestling.
Oh shit! We should all answer this.
I'm the belle of the ball.
I'm definitely the belle.
Oh, I thought we were answering for Drew.
A guy asked me after he farted on me with a whoopee cushion. I thought it was a real fart. I looked at him. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Well, you're blowing secondhand smoke at me." And I said, "It's a blunt." And he goes, "Oh, I changed my mind." And he pulls the whoopee cushion out of his pants and he said, "It's still the same though, basically, if you're smoking a cigarette as me farting on you. And except you don't get to smell the fart, he just get to smell the cancer." And I kind of laughed at the guy. He thought he was pretty funny. We put a tack on his seat about 5 minutes later. He sat down on the tack. He didn't think it was too funny. I didn't like to get farted on though.
Okay, we're fine.
If you're hanging out in Mexico with guys that have Hep C and they're wrestling with you and bleeding on you, and you don't know it and they don't know it, you know, because I don't think X-Pac knew. But that was a little bit crazy. So then having to sit there and wait and grinding your teeth going, I never fucked any girls without condoms on. I never did any fucking drugs. Like, worst thing I did was fucking smoke weed and fucked a couple of strippers with a limp dick. Fucking, it doesn't work usually. So, but I used a condom, so I really don't want to go down for something I didn't do.
Yeah.
So fucking, that was a couple shitty days in a row.
So we're good.
And then I was going to rehab with Razor Ramon.
All right.
Yeah, so I was going to jail. That's how I got out of jail. WWE got me out of jail. They got me out of a federal jail to get in a limousine with Dan Spivey, who's paid as the liaison to come pick up junkies or whatever the WWE has.
That's what his job is. What's the weed laws in Canada?
I go to jail for it.
Oh, so that's why you can talk about it, because you already went to jail.
No, I've never gone to jail for any drug charge.
What do you go to jail for?
For rape.
What?
Yes, I never did it the first time. It's the same fucking...
I don't want to get into this.
Yes, you want to. I said, maybe you should just take me to jail then. I said, if you're saying I raped somebody, I said, then I guess I should just go to jail. And
then you went to jail?
Cop says, you're being kind of a smartass. And I said, well, you don't have a warrant. You can't come in my house. And he walked in my house. I said, turn your recorder on now, officer. I said, everything I say I want it to be recorded so you can use it against me later in a court of law. I said, I have a loaded gun and I'm going to shoot myself in the fucking head unless you listen to my story and shut the fuck up and stop talking search warrant crap. Yeah, I didn't rape anybody. Sure, you want to hear the story? One time I'll say it. No one ever got the story. I will never give it out. But you guys want to hear the story? And I could get in huge trouble for this tape right now. I'm going to put it out there once. I don't give a fuck. So
we can cut
this could
out.
be the last time you see me on TV for real.
We could cut
this could be the last time. I don't really care. This is what you want to know what I went to jail for, right? So I could lie to you and go.
We didn't ask.
We did.
Did we?
Yes,
I did. Never mind. You're right.
So
I asked.
And yeah, you should definitely check out that interview in full on the High Spots Wrestling Network, would highly recommend. But the final one to talk about here is maybe the saddest of any wrestling shoot interview possible, or any wrestling interview possible out there. As when Rowdy Roddy Piper unfortunately passed away in 2016, an old interview he did in 2003 with HBO would begin to resurface. And it's an interview that in 2003, Roddy Piper actually got fired from the WWE for comments he made in this interview. And this interview is also another one where it's very difficult for me to find it in full. But this clip I'm about to play is without a doubt one of the saddest and most eeriest clips in a wrestling interview I've ever heard.
They had Tuinol, Seconals, Tylenol 4, Decadroblin, testosterone, Placidils, Valium. You get this going, and then you start drinking alcohol. Deadly combination. You bring cocaine into the picture. Doesn't line. It's time to fight. No downers there. You know, let's go. But it would be nice to have a little painkiller in you as you go in, or a lot. And whoom. So now you come out of the ring. It's 10:30, and you're hi. How are you?
At the time of our story, Piper was nearly 50 and said he despised the business. Yet he'd gone back into it to make a living.
What would you have me do at 49 when my pension plan I can't take out till I'm 65? I'm not going to make 65. Let's just face facts, guys.
Roddy Piper died in Hollywood on July 31st. He was 4 years shy of his 65th birthday.
On the 8th of August 2016, live on the WWE Network, Dean Ambrose, the WWE Champion at the time, was a guest on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. And this interview is one that has gone down in infamy, as at the start of this interview, things seem to be going pretty well. They're talking wrestling, you know, Jon Moxley is a very nonchalant guy, the interview is going fine, he's relaxed, it's all good. However, there was only one topic that Mox didn't want to discuss on this podcast, and that was personal deep questions about his early life. And I'm sure you can probably guess what obviously happens, as the deep and personal questions from Steve Austin would then come filing in, as Moxley's demeanor would completely change. Moxley was very clearly unhappy and seemed uncomfortable and like he didn't want to be there and go into detail, but he kept on getting pressed, and this interview ended in total disaster and was an awkward mess. And Moxley would speak on the incident years later on the Wade Keller Pro Wrestling podcast in June of 2019. He says he felt blindsided by a WWE producer whom he told he didn't want to discuss his early life, but of course it still happened anyway.
There was one other thing that jumped out that was a real talking point with you, and that was that Steve Austin podcast on WWE Network. Can you speak to what didn't quite click there? Was there some, like, I talked to Steve about it on his podcast even. He was trying to figure out, you know, what just didn't seem to go right. It seemed to be a struggle. Were you in a certain place at that point, or was it a last-second thing? What's the story behind that?
Well, yeah, it was weird. I don't remember it being a very good interview. Like,
right.
It was like, because it's an odd thing to just like I was really looking forward to it. I went there on my day off,
yeah,
you know, to do this. Like, I was like, cool, we're gonna like talk wrestling, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember like the producer guy, Adam Panucci. I remember he called me like a week before to like prep. And he was trying to ask me these like super personal, deep questions about like my fucking childhood and shit. And I was like, you know, it's kind of none of your business, man. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't want to go on, you know, if I'm going to say some shit about people who don't have the same forum, that aren't there to defend themselves, you know, people from my family and so, like, my family's good. Like, I don't want to drag up my shit on fucking national TV. It's not fair to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not into that, you know. So you know, but within 5 seconds, I'm getting these fucking questions. I don't remember what they were. And he said something that like pissed me off. And I just fucking mentally shut down. Because I think what you want, and I fucking love Steve.
Yeah.
I like him so. That's why, like, if that had been a regular interview, it would have been, I'd have hung up on him.
And Steve Austin would also speak about it years later in 2019 as well, in an episode of his own podcast once again, this time interviewing Tony Khan before AEW formed, and he spoke candidly about that interview with Jon Moxley and how he has felt guilty since it happened. the first or last time that Ric Flair would cause controversy in a public appearance, as look no further than the WWE 2K14 SummerSlam panel event. So some of you might know this story already, but during SummerSlam weekend, I believe it was, they were promoting WWE 2K14, the upcoming 2K game, obviously, for the time. And this would have been 2013, not 2014, sorry, because it would have been the previous year. But they hosted like this panel promoting the game and promoting 30 years of WrestleMania. It's being hosted by Jim Ross. You've got Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Paul Heyman, Mick Foley, and of course, Ric Flair, who turned up to this event super drunk. He had been on the drinks, been on the bevs, and this was a pretty bad time for Ric Flair emotionally at that time because his son had just passed away, and it was probably way too soon for him to be making a public appearance. But yeah, he shows up to this drunk and ends up being the show stealer. He's the life of the party here, and the crowd are just absolutely loving Ric Flair and his drunk stories and his drunk antics during this show. Everything about this panel is so boring other than what Ric Flair is doing, and the crowd are just loving it.
I think they thought Andre the Giant was hosting this tonight. I'm a little shorter and fatter. And this is Snapple.
Wow, thanks, everybody.
Dolph is not wearing any underwear. I don't know how I got that, but I think it was on Twitter.
I told you that in confidence, JR.
Sorry. I'm old. A little sidebar here. Ray let me borrow his mask last night. My wife was frightened.
Did you use it in the proper way?
I did. But we had that full-length mirror in our room, and it was scary. Hell, it scared me, Ray. I'm telling you. And I've seen it all. Our next guest, who in the hell would say this? Our next guest needs no introduction. Would I ever say that in my... Okay, but I'll be damned if I won't give it to him anyway. Hey, take my wife, please. I've lost complete control of my job. I'm sure I will never be asked back, and this has probably destroyed what career I had left.
And by the way, I introduced Jim Ross to his wife. We go way back. Charleston, West Virginia. We were so drunk, we were all... we got on the airplane.
There's a gentleman here didn't get to talk about what WrestleMania meant to him.
You saved me for last. No. I'm the showstopper.
Mick, it's called Hot Tag.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You let me book the match here?
Okay.
Says Mick screwed up my hot tag and my big moment.
I mean, guys, I wrestled in front of 200,000 people in North Korea. I've been in Japan 69 times. 69 times.
Okay, no, there's no subliminal information on that 69.
No, I'm just saying that.
All right, well.
Jer,
yeah.
Let's go get a crown. Let's go.
Well, we're almost done.
Actually, my biggest match, though, was against Shawn Michaels. That's okay.
We're going to get to that.
You know, my Shawn Michaels match when I retired, I got what he's making reference to. It was me, Dave Bautista, and Randy Orton, WrestleMania, the 20th anniversary, against him and The Rock. Are you kidding? We stole it. You shit me? Nobody can follow that shit. You think Goldberg did it? I mean, give me a break. Nobody can follow that match. You kidding me? The Rock was doing this shit. I was doing my shit. Mick was rolling on the thumbtacks. We stole it. Hell, I'm going to the bar, Jim. Let's go.
Well, that was interesting. How about you, Mick? Anything special you want on your wish list?
Yes.
So you're a Santa Claus loving, sleigh riding, elf kissing, mistletoe belt buckle wearing son of a gun.
But
go ahead, do what you want. Say what you want to say. I don't give a shit.
In that case.
I'd like to thank Grey Goose for sponsoring this portion of the broadcast.
But I go to Cena. I said, "You're the world champion. You got to buy drinks." You know. He said, "I don't drink." I said, "Good luck with that shit." or I want to wrestle Stone Cold. Stone Cold ain't gonna hurt his neck with me. I don't even fly him air.
I'm wrestling you tomorrow in a hotel room doing my podcast.
The podcast.
Must listen to. Sure boy.
Her boy. And Stone Cold, 3 hours,
over here in my room. Good luck with that one. Woo! And Steve's bringing 3 cases of beer. What the hell?
I came looking for a couple of plugs for the show, but this is ridiculous.
No,
I think we're turning your podcast heel.
Hey, we're going to plug that baby all night long. Wait till I get to the bar tonight. I didn't start it yet. Hey, who can work for WCW and not drink? You give me a break. Good Lord. Oh, my God.
And Rick and I had not only a few matches, we had a classic.
We stole it, brother.
We stole it
twice.
Times.
We stole it at SummerSlam for WWE, and we stole it for that company, whatever it's called, TNA. You kidding me? He lets me smack him. Undertaker, just relatively a few, you know. Hey, Bret Hart, do we have to do that? Sorry, Bret. Yeah, it's only 2 like that. In San Antonio one night, Bret Hart goes, "It's a dark match. Please don't chop me." I said, "Okay." Okay, hello.
All right. Okay, now.
Don't get me going. I'm a wealth of entertainment.
Daniel Bryan.
Minutes is up, JR.
Save my ass. Soundbite. Who's your dream opponent at WrestleMania?
I honestly feel like I don't belong up here.
Hey, Daniel. Hey, Daniel. 41 years, you can only imagine. Hey, 41 years of wrestling Brody and Blackjack, you can imagine how I feel about you being up here. Good Lord. I'll move. Yeah, here's the greatest. Kurt Hennig goes, you got to hear the story. So, I got to tell this story, it's the greatest. So Kurt, no, I'll do Kurt. I'll move. I swear to God, I'll move. Hey, Charleston, West Virginia, all night. We get on the airplane, and I think the chick is hitting on me. She's hitting on him, right? Then she tells this joke, and they're out of food, so Jim and I drink Bloody Marys for an hour and a half back to Atlanta. His wife is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. But, I mean, she needs lens grafters, right? Let's go with it, right? Let's get that figured out. Ric Flair in my prime, or him, are you shitting me? I was wrecked. Good Lord.
Yeah,
I just saw her today. She's the greatest. At my age, I'm ready to go. But I have a cosmetic issue, right? And I look like shit, okay? So, the human jellyfish.
This makes a television show. Can you imagine what the internet and the dirt sheets are going to say about this shit?
Yeah. I love it. Good Lord.
Considered I've lost
Nobody get married out here, please. It's overrated. If you're even entertaining the thought of your partner you're with tonight and you're thinking about getting married, throw it out. It's overrated. And don't live with her longer than the statute of limitations, okay? You got to pay her anyway.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. After this train wreck is over, and we are able to get the ambulances here for the bodies, the casualties, we're going to do one-on-one interviews. We are going to, God forbid, have more beverages and great food.
And yeah, as a result, it was Jim Ross who actually got punished for this. He would depart WWE a month later due to contract expiry, which he said was his own decision, but many people believe that it was because of this panel here and the fact that WWE thought he wasn't able to keep it under control. There was talk that he had appeared intoxicated to this event as well, but that was never substantiated, though he did make criticisms and remarks towards sponsors for WWE on this panel, and that obviously caused trouble. But yeah, if this is the reason that JR got fired, he definitely should not have got fired, because this was an awesome panel. Ric Flair really stole the show here. It was great. JR, even during the press conference panel, is even like, oh god, this is definitely going to lose my job. He even acknowledges it on the mic. But yeah, I disagree with him losing his job over this if that was the case. And yeah, those are just some wrestling interviews and live appearances that ended in total disaster with meltdowns and awkward moments. And yes, I'm fully aware that there is no way that these are the only ones I could think of. There are so many more, I'm fully aware. And if you want to suggest any, then leave them down below in the comments, and I'll come back and do another video talking about even more wrestler interviews that ended in total meltdowns, disasters, and pure awkwardness, and tension, and fights. Guys, that's it from me. If you did enjoy this video, then be sure to leave a like on it, and again, let me know down below in the comments what your favorite shoot interview was from this video and what you think was the most heated. And thank you so much for watching the shoot interview series on the channel. If there are any more that you would like me to watch that I have missed out on somehow, then let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll cover them in the future, but I truly covered all of the good ones. And yeah, let's end this video with a trading card pack rip, as we always do. TTW signing off, as always, with a trading card pack. Slam Attacks 2021, let's get into it. Alright, let's check these cards out, starting off with the 24/7 Championship, Mercedes Martinez, Johnny Gargano, Jimmy Uso, Sasha Banks, Boss Booster, nice one, Mansoor, who looks so different, we've tumbled over our cards, oh god, Rey Mysterio, Grand Metalik, the boy, and a SmackDown Heroes shiny Kevin Owens, lovely, with a Firefly Funhouse, just the graphic as a card, okay, cool, an Asuka Extreme Rules booster, ending with this very funky and colourful Becky Lynch Icons card. You got to love it. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Like and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video on the TTW channel. See you in the next one. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.